오늘 해볼 게임은 더 포같은 시티라는 게임이고요. 이 게임의 내용은 한 사람이라도 죄를 저지르면 모두가 죽는 저주에 걸린 고대 로마 도시의 마지막 날을 경험해보세요 라는데 타임루프물이라고 합니다. 바로 한번 가봅시다. 렛츠고! 그아즈야 드가즈야, 스포일러를 피하게 도와주세요. 진행하다 보면 아시겠지만 이 게임엔 음모와 반전이 가득합니다. 자, 그럼 바로 한번 가봅시다. 렛츠고! 이 게임은 3명이서 4년 동안 개발했대요. 소수인원으로 굉장한 게임을 만들었구나. 멀티 엔딩을 지원하고 추리 게임, 완력이 아니라 심오한 대화와 탐험으로 풀어나가는 재미가 있다. 이 도시의 미래는 내 손에 있다. 현재. 난가? 불을 쬐고 있고요. 아, 낯선 사람이시네. 아, 내가 강물에 떠내려왔나봐.
I checked your pockets for ID, a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change. So, wanna tell me who you are?
에? 자기소개요? 체형을 선택하세요. 아, 남자와 여자, 남자. 전 쥐느라고 합니다.
Well, it's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry, but any idea why you were floating down the river? What's the last thing you remember?
마지막으로 기억나는 건 뭐가 있나요? 나 아무 기억도 안 나는데 맷집이 증가한다고? 나 기억 안 나는데? 근데 오랫동안 역사 공부를 한 덕에 고대 세계에서 가끔씩 통찰력을 얻기도 한다. 내가 고대 유적을 찾고 있었던 것 같아. 기억이 났어.
Then you'll definitely want to hear this. I don't know if it's exactly what you're looking for.
근데 구해주셔서 감사하지만
There are some ruins
뭘 이렇게
just behind
막
you.
꼬치꼬치 캐물으시고 말이야.
I need you to go in there and see if you can find a guy.
오지랖이 좀 넓으시네?
He went in there a few hours ago and he hasn't come out. I've been freaking out, wondering if he's trapped or
아하.
injured or worse.
날 도와주셨으면 또 나도 도와줘야지.
But he made me promise to stay here, no matter what. There's no way I'm leaving without him. So I'm just kind of
그래요.
stuck here, waiting.
그럼 안전하게 여기 계십시오. 네, 제가 찾아봐 드릴 테니까.
그럼
머리숱이 아주 풍성하시네. 이 가르마 사이에 이것도 하나도 안 보이게. 찾아주시면 같이 제포트를 타고 사회로 돌아갈 수 있어요. 오케이. 먼저 질문을 좀 해도 될까요? 예. 예.
What do you want to know?
근데 이분의 사연도 궁금한데 난 사실 여기 어딘지가 제일 궁금해. 이탈리아의 티베르 강이라고?
This river is the Tiber.
뭐 이렇게 멀리 떠내려왔지? 도움은 요청해 보셨나요?
An idiot? You could hike a long way in any direction and
아무도
never
없을
find
거라고.
another soul. Trust me.
엄청 외진된가 보다. 사연을 한번 들어봅시다.
Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Know what I mean?
그러니까 저는 이름 말해줬는데 이렇게 좀 부드럽게 물어봅시다.
Sorry if I sounded cagey. It's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I
Karen?
introduce myself. My name is
Nice to meet you, man. 근데 왜 이름 때문에 놀림을 받았어?
Yeah, something like that. But right now,
또 이 사람의 서사가 있구나. 이 사람은.
like finding Al.
그러면 일단 엘이 누군지.
He's the guy who washed up on the riverbank not long before you did.
나 말고 떠내려온
I
사람이
thought
또
maybe
있대.
You two knew each other. I guess not. But maybe the two of you can piece together what you're doing here. In any case, you'll like him, I'm sure. Once you find him,
수상한데?
that is. Not much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. Priceless ancient artifacts. Al.
공포 게임은 아닐 겁니다. 저도 하나도 몰라요. 그냥 죄를 지으면 모두가 죽는다. 이거밖에 모릅니다, 지금.
Great. So you're ready to go look
자,
for
그럼
Al?
애를 찾으러 한번 가는 김에
My hero. The entrance is just past those columns behind you. Oh, and he left this here. But I think you'll need it more than I will.
물건을 남겼다. 손전등이네. 감사합니다. 건전지로 작동하는 튼튼한 손전등. 프레임 드랍이 굉장히 게임 소리는 적당하시죠? 아, 이렇게 마우스 휠로 손전등을 킬 수 있습니다. 여기가 바로 그 유적 같은데, 뭔가 쉬프트를 누르면 질주하고. 와, 보니까 뭔가 들어가면 안 될 곳에 들어가고 있는 것 같은데? 근데 내가 기억을 잃어가지고 이거 손전등을 끄라. 가방이다. 3렙 가방. 배낭. 해진 등산복과 텅 빈 음식 포장지로 가득한 배낭. 뭐가 들어 있나? 엘이 이걸 두고 갔더니 좀 이상하다. 뭘 딱히 먹을 수는 없고요. 엘의 편지.
If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient
What?
Roman city hidden deep underground. Its existence.
그러게요. 그래픽은 좋네요. 근데 진짜 뭐 나올 것 같네.
Except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The
뭐야?
virtuous."
뭐예요? 뭐야? 아직 편지 다 못 읽었는데. 뭐야? 의로운 자는 낙원에서 영생을 누리리라.
With eternal life
아,
in
다시 나오네.
paradise.
물속에 있어서 안 들렸구나.
Shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain.
사악한 자는 황금 세례를 맞으나 그것이 최후의 안식처가 되기에 헛되도다.
Could an underground city have remained a secret for all this time?
오씨.
Could people have survived down there against the odds? It seems there's only one way to find out. If I'm not back in an hour, I'm
깜짝이야.
somewhere on the other side. Consider this an invitation. Or
1시간 안에 오지 않으면 이 도시 안에 있다고 생각을 하래요. 엘 워스가. 그리고 속삭임이라는 또 누군가가 너 누구야? 이렇게 속삭였어. 뭐 이렇게 칼 가는 소리 들리는데? 스르릉 스르릉 소리 들리거든요? 기사인데? 달리는 자세로 굳어진 로마 검투사. 뭘 받길래 검투사마저 도망을 치는 걸까? 그러게, 무기도 이렇게 내던지고 도망을... 움직이네. 고개가 돌아가네요. 내가 안 쳐다보고 있으면 날 쳐다봐. 가까이 있는 조각상에 대해서만 그렇게 되는 것 같습니다. 문이 내가 미는 거네? 예? 컬힌센? 뭐라는 거야? 한국말로 해줘요. 씨, 뭐라는 거야? 나 어디로 가고 있는 거야? 여기 어디야? F9로 빠른 저장 블로우기가 가능합니다. 일단 저장해. 냅다 저장하고. 아니 왜 돌아댕기지? 로마 군대 사령관. 무언가로부터 도망치려 하는 모습이다. 그러니까 뭔가 굉장한 게 지금 마을을 덮친 것 같죠? 괴물 같은 게 나타나서 도시를 습격했나? 이것을 알아내는 게 이 게임의 목적이겠죠? 로마 여인 오지 않는 도움을 바라며 기도하고 있는 것 같다. 그러게요. 라틴어인가? 에리야? What? 글이 적힌 석판.
to whoever reads this,
에리야?
I'm sorry you had to find me like this. And worse, you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime
여러분도 같은 운명에 처할 거래.
going around in circles, searching for a way out.
나갈 길을 찾느라 같은 시간을 반복했지만
Was right.
전에 본 글이 맞다. 뭔가를 봤구나.
And here there are only two options: death, or that
죽거나
godforsaken door.
과거로 향하는 그 빌어먹을 문으로
I
들어가거나.
made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right, and I tried. I really tried.
타임 루프에
Whatever
빠졌구나.
I did, it took me right back to the beginning. Don't make the same mistake. Better to end it all now and find out what awaits you beyond that portal.
누가 자꾸 여기에 왜 왔냐고 물어봐. 속삭여 이렇게 내 귀에 대고. ASMR도 아닌데. 속삭이지 마세요. 그냥 얘기하세요 제발. 속삭이니까 더 무서워. 아 왜? 왜 속삭여 왜? 여기 또 뭔가 무릎을 꿇은 로마인 남성 신이 자비를 베풀길 빌고 있던 걸까? 아, 이 문을 이제 시작인 것 같군요. 자, 들어가 봅시다. 무슨 일이 있었는지 한번 파헤쳐 봅시다. 언제든 탭으로 퀘스트 일지, 소지품 창을 확인할 수 있습니다. 그리고 다음 탭 또 하나 있었던 것 같은데 팁이 과거로 향하는 문을 통과하라. 오 나왔어. 아까 황금 동상이었던 사람이 낯선 사람 갈레리우스.
I'm Galerius.
하이.
Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the shrine of Proserpina?
프로세르피나의 성소? 아씨 미래에서 왔다고 하면 이거 아무리 그래도 미친 사람으로 보지 않을까?
No idea what you're talking about. Oh, wait. Are you a bit, you know, light in the head?
죄송해요. 제가 한 3살 땐가 나무에서 떨어져가지고 차가 오락가락 해가지고 죄송합니다. 근데 오늘 며칠이죠?
We sort of lose track of the date down here, but it feels like the beginning of spring to me.
3월 초
Early March?
이제 봄이다. 몇 년이더라? 제가 말씀드렸다시피 이게 오락가락 해가지고
Sorry,
로마
you
건국
look
원년 817년
817 years since the founding of Rome. Which part of the empire are you from exactly?
어느 지방이냐면요. 고고학의 눈 서기 65년. 이거 제가 맨 처음에 고고학자를 선택을 해가지고 이게 뜨는 것 같은데 한번 눌러볼게요.
CE. No idea
아
what you're talking
너무
about.
통찰력을 가져버렸네.
Listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get here, but you seem very lost, and in more ways than one. So let me make this nice and simple for you.
오케이.
By our law
법을
here,
따르면
we'll
우리
all
모두
get
무사할
along
거다.
just fine.
당신들의 법
Not laws.
황금률.
There's just one, the golden rule, and the punishment for breaking it's kind of horrific. But our magistrate
치안 판사님이
insists
새
it's all you
방문자는
have to
전부
see
자기한테
him,
보내라
so I guess I'll let
하셨다.
him fill you in. So
날
come
데려가신다고? 갑자기? 알아서 갈게요.
Look, you seem like you might need a little
그런가?
extra help.
나 길을
Feel a lot
모르니까.
more comfortable if I showed you the way.
그쵸? 좋습니다. 같이 가시죠.
When I first arrived, I couldn't believe
팁
there were people
2를 누르면 안내자를 따라갑니다.
As you can see, we've got a
알아서 따라가고 있습니다. 지금 2만 누르고 있어요. 마우스에서 손 뗐고요.
Only 23 of us at the moment. If you count the
실종된
three
3명까지 앞에 23명만 남았다.
Nobody knows a way out, but it's just big and dark enough to get lost in if you're not careful.
벌써 황금이
Aren't you
된
going to introduce me to your handsome
사람이
new friend,
있는데?
Galerius?
Keep it in your loincloth, Aurelia. I'm taking him to see the magistrate.
아우렐리아
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer.
옥기세를 풀려고 하셨어?
Anyone who
그러지
helps
마세요.
vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
술집 주인이시구나. 아하.
Right,
그럼 또 얘기가 또 달라지지. 옥깃은 안 푸셔도 됩니다.
She's
저희 방송은 남녀노소 모두가 볼 수 있는 방송이기 때문에 그러시면 안 됩니다.
is our farm, where I grow all the
오른쪽에
food you'll
보이는
ever
게
want.
농장.
As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat.
리크와 양배추 밀만 먹고 사는 사람이면 말만해.
The bloodless
Ah.
shadows wander
Oh.
without flesh or bone.
Don't
Libya.
mind Lydia. She means well. She's just been in a bad place since.
조금
Well,
뭔가 트라우마가
I
있으신가
don't know what
보다.
happened to her. Up here on your right is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom.
무기가
Up on the
있으면
left
저쪽으로
is the forum,
던져버려라.
where You can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the shrine of Apollo.
시장에 들릴 수도 있고
Most of
아폴로의
us
성소에 갈
have
수도
almost
있다.
nothing. Just what we had on us when
대부분은
we
가진
arrived.
무기가 없대요. 속삭임!
Able to make
속삭이지
and
마!
stand up
무서워,
since.
씨.
And this
그냥 말하라고.
plateau is where the magistrate and the other patricians
그리고
live.
이곳이 중앙고원,
Don't expect a warm
치안
welcome.
판사를 비롯한 귀족들이 사는 곳.
working the farm, not trudging down to the villas.
아,
Take it
계급
easy,
사회구나.
Horatius. I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
계급 사회라서 이렇게
But just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
What was that?
나는 뭐 입고 있지?
What did you just say?
내 모습이 안
I
보이네.
said it'll take some getting used to.
그래픽은 좋네요.
I'm watching you, farm boy. Greetings, citizen. My
호라티우스.
name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentilla asked me to escort you to
치안판사는 센티우스고 절 부르는 이유가 뭐죠?
I expect the magistrate wants
아,
to
황금률이 뭔지 알려주려는 것 같다.
shouldn't take too long. He's busy preparing for the
그러니까
election later.
로마에 왔으면 로마 법을 따라라. 싫은데요?
I'm afraid I have to insist.
당신한테 궁금한 게 있어요.
Well, I can't force you. I'll let him know you declined.
아니, 거절했다고 굳이 알린다고?
With either
아이,
of us.
뒤끝이 있으시네. 황금률은 어떻게 생각하십니까? 사연을 듣고 싶습니다.
I'm a legionary of the first Italica, but there's not a lot
Ah.
of fighting down here. So the magistrate has assigned
소속의 병사지만 여기선 싸울 일이 별로
I act as the
없대요.
magistrate's right-hand man, keeping an eye on his daughter, I should say, and the others.
아, 약간 집사 느낌이네.
Behaving. I also keep a register of new arrivals.
아주 중요한 사람인 것 같은데?
I'm from Liguria, up north originally. I was doing all right for myself. 12 years into my service.
아, 결혼을 약속한 참한 아가씨도 있었는데
It's all over. Not anymore. She's probably figured I'm long gone and moved on by now. I try not to think about
헤어졌구나.
it.
어쩔
My
수
commander sent me
없이.
to deliver a message to Rome. While I was there, I thought I'd do something nice for my girl and pick up a little pendant from a silver
아,
sword.
또 이런
That's when the
구구절절한
crowd
사연이.
started flooding through the streets, shouting fire. People were screaming, trampling each other. Then some genetricum fugitive tried to take
쟤네
advantage
왜
of the chaos and
혼란을
punish
틈타 내
my
펜던트를 훔쳐갔다.
I remember chasing him through the crowds.
강가까지 갔는데 기 우로통 기억이 나질 않는다.
Nothing.
쟤네 뭐라는 거야 저?
And woke up near here.
한국말로 해.
No
씨.
idea how I ended up floating so far downriver.
아,
Unfortunate to be alive, I suppose.
유감입니다, 선생님. 정말.
As Seneca the Younger said, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. That said, Sentilla's disappearance has been more difficult than I'd care to admit.
치안 판사는 어떤 분인가? 한번
He's one of
물어봅시다.
the better commanders I've ever had. That's for sure. Good
스토아
stuff.
철학을 추종하고 세네카의 명언을 충실히 따른다.
Inferior, as you would wish your
윗사람에게
superiors
대접받고 싶은 대로 아랫사람을 대하라. 그게 황금률이죠. 그 그리스도가 말하는 나가는
I
법.
went around asking the same questions when I first arrived. Never did find a way out. But I learned how to accept my situation. To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden. That's from Seneca the Younger, if you're interested. I don't see why not. Just make sure I get it back.
이렇게 쉽게 시민 명부를 받았습니다. 감사합니다. 예. 실종됐대. 센틸라 귀족 학생인데 실종됐대. 여기가 끝입니다. 자, 여기까지 하고 고맙습니다. 예, 감사합니다. 황금률을 어떻게 생각하는지.
As I always say, it's kind of like a divine version of the practice of decimation in the Legion. By threatening to execute 1 in 10 men, the idea is to ensure order and discipline among everyone. And it works. If you knew you could be executed because your brother-in-arms is planning a mutiny, wow, you'd bloody well watch him like hundred-eyed Argus, wouldn't you? Because your own
모두가
chance
모두를
to save yourself is to stop bad things.
감시하면서 살아야 되는구나.
Makes us all responsible for keeping each other in check. It's brutal, of course, but effective. The Legion wouldn't be the most formidable force in the world without it.
와,
What's done is done. I was forced to execute my brothers in arms, and those memories will always visit me.
아유, 이분도 좀 힘든 기억이 있으시네.
But life is harsh.
자기 손으로 전우를 처형해야만
As
했대요.
with the golden rule, I don't have any control over it. So railing against it would be like trying to stop the seasons or the tides. As Seneca the Younger wrote. True
진정한
happiness
행복은
is enjoying
현재를
the
즐기는
present
것이다.
without
미래에
anxious
불안해하거나
thought
희망이나 두려움에 일에
use ourselves
일비하는 것이
for
아니라
doubts or fears. To rest, satisfied,
가진 것이 충분함을 알고 만족하면 편히 쉬면 더 바랄 것이 없노라.
For he that is so wants nothing. War crime. Isn't that a contradiction in terms? As Cicero said. in terms
법은
of
전장에서
war,
침묵한다. 와, 진짜 옛날 시대네 그냥.
Seems that way. War crimes. Ridiculous. If you like. Not that it's any of your business. But my loyalty is
센티우스께
and
충성할
always will be
생각이라고
to
하시네요.
Unfortunately,
왜?
I don't think my vote is going to make any difference today.
무효표야?
Domitius has been going around town.
도미티우스가 도시 곳곳을 돌아다니며 거짓말에 뇌물과 협박까지 동원해.
The man is a savage, but he's a gladiator, so people fear and respect him. Sure. Sentius knows about it, of course, but he doesn't have the same rat cunning as Malleolus.
말레올루스라는 아주 추잡한 사람이 있구만. 근데 또 그 추잡한 사람도 알고 보면 또 사정이 있다. 도와드릴까요? 아, 그쵸. 아, 그러네요. 아, 일단 이 호라티우스의 펜던트를 찾아줘야 될 것 같고, 이 투표를 제가 조작을 해야 될 것 같은데. 봐, 말레올루스를 선거에서 떨어뜨릴 방법을 알아내라 랍니다. 말레올루스를 만나라. 어디서 만나는데요? 여기 어딘데요? 와, 진짜 사람이 손전등 갖고 왔네? 운동하고 계시네? 말레리우스인가봐.
If the old man couldn't even keep his own daughter safe, how can anyone trust him to keep us safe, eh?
Why do I get the feeling you lot had something to do?
그렇게 크게 얘기하지 않는 것 같은데
That's it. Blame everyone but yourself.
대화가 잘 나눠지시네? 어머, 여기 흉터가 봐.
Something to that poor sweet girl. Not even the golden rule is gonna protect you. Got it?
As if I'll be afraid of you, little man.
누구세요, 아저씨?
Malleolus isn't receiving visitors
말레올루스는
at the
지금
moment,
손님을 안
it
받고
being
있어.
election day. I think it's gone on long enough, and Malleolus is going to put an end to
아,
it.
말레올루스는 또 황금률에 반대하는 파구나.
He's going to announce it in his victory speech. Just you wait and see.
도와드릴 일이
We've
있을까요?
already lined up the votes he needs to win. Just stay out of our way, and we won't.
자신감에 가득 차 있으시죠? 아주. 사연.
Name's Domitius.
도미티우스.
You want to get to Malleolus?
문지기.
Go through me.
말레올루스를 만나고 싶어요.
Too bad. He's busy. Unless, no, you don't look like you could afford it.
형편?
I'm glad you asked. See, he's a busy man, and this is an important day. He'll be
아,
inside practicing his victory speech for tonight. Left me strict instructions he doesn't want to be disturbed. So if you
하하,
want
나
to see
이
him,
자식
I'll need something valuable.
속물이었구만. 원하는 게 뭡니까?
No, something good. Bribe?
뇌물?
Such an ugly word.
생각하기에 따라 다르다.
It's more of a tribute to me, your soon-to-be patron. Just make it good.
힌트라도 뭐 단백질 이런 거 좋아하실 것 같은데? 프로틴?
Yeah? What have you got for me?
아,
If you
없네.
set one foot in that villa without permission, I'll skin you alive, you
이건 뭐야?
pusillanimous semitarius mocus.
센티우스와 말레올루스는 냄새만 다르지 똑같은 쓰레기야.
Keep walking.
간다고. 여기 열리네? 여기 막 들어와도 돼? 남의 집? 에키티아의 보관함. 훔치기.
The many shall
뭐야?
suffer for the sins of the one.
뭐야? 센티우스를 따라 성소로 돌아간 뒤 그의 차원문을 다시 이용하라. 이 사람이 센티우스? 첫 만남부터 이거 영 좋지 않구만. 겁에 질려 있대. 아, 내가 죄를 저질렀구나. 저기 눈에 불이 들어와 있었죠? 방금? 뭐야? 그토록 공을 들였는데? 사라졌어. 나도? 어떻게 된 거야? 아! 다시 돌아왔어? 아! 아! 이니.
Salve, friend.
아!
Hilarious. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
아, 이 대화는 전에도 했다고 말해도 돼?
I don't think so. I've never seen you before in my life.
오.
Oh, I guess how much did I drink last night? Sorry to have bothered you. Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry,
내가 만든
you should try this
장치.
device I made. Worked real hard on it.
뭐지? 오늘은 또 뭘 주네? 이게 뭐야? 밧줄 장치 손잡이. 일단 네, 감사합니다.
Just attach the pulley to the rope.
도르래를 호수의 밧줄에 붙이고 손잡이에 매달려봐.
If it works, it'll be faster than walking.
아,
And if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim in the lake.
아이씨.
Haven't quite
나보고 시험을 해봐라.
tested myself.
오케이,
But
오케이.
don't worry, it's completely safe. Probably.
안전할 걸? 아, 감사합니다. 예.
See you around.
오케이. 다시 가봅시다. 아, 내가 죄를 저질러가지고 루프가 됐어요. 타임 루프가. 그리고 좀 더 자유로워졌다. 리비아, 할머니, 뭘 알고 계시는
Just
거예요?
as the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls. But it does not notice the crowds that come. The
사연을
bloodless
들어봅시다.
shadows wander without flesh or bone. Some crowd the forum, some the house of the ruler of the depths. Others follow their trades,
이전의
imitating
삶을
their previous
흉내낸다.
lives. They never do.
아직은 이해를 못하는 건가?
There is only a downward path, gloomy with fatal yew trees. It leads through dumb silence to the infernal regions. Help me. You cannot help me. I have seen things. A pattern, a terrible pattern. It is better for you if you remain ignorant.
판도라의 상자는 닫혀 있어야
Pandora's
해.
box must stay closed. I'll say no
이 아줌마 뭔가를 알고 미쳐버리신 것 같은데? 일단은 그러면 순서대로 해봅시다. 훔치기라는 게 있는데 제가 벌써 한번 훔쳐가지고 벌써 한번 시간이 되돌려져 버렸습니다. 훔치기라고 뜨니까 아유 못 참겠더라고요. 하이. 하이. 오케이. 앞장서세요. 빨리. 갑시다. 무슨 얘기 할지 다 아니까. 그대가 알아야 할 것은 황금률 하나밖에 없다. 이거 조금 더 둘러봅시다. 뭐가 있나. 센티오스의 보관함. 돈이 많네. 데나리우스라고 읽나봐요. 센텔라의 편지. 센틸라가 센티우스에게 가장 위대하신 유피테르께서 그대를 가호하고 인도하시길. 절 딸로 받아주셔서 고마워요. 생일 선물로 주신 펜던트도 정말 예쁘고요. 절대로 안 빼겠다고 약속할게요. 당신을 아버지로, 센티아를 언니로 맡게 되어 정말 기뻐요. 꼭 요새에 들어온 것처럼 마음이 편안한 거 있죠? 그리고 다음 달에 있을 선거를 걱정하시는 것 같은데 아버지가 얼마나 강하고 믿음직한 분인지 보여주시면 재선도 성공하실 거예요. 그렇고 말고요. 센틸라가 센티우스에게 입양해줘서 고맙다고 적은 편지. 드디어 만났죠? 치안 판사 센티오스 씨. 들어와. 들어오세요.
We're finally.
위험 있어 보이시네.
I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name?
주님입니다.
A curious name to match a curious accent. But I digress. I see you have the piercing and astute eyes of a man of great learning. We're always happy to welcome another scholar to our little community. Equitia will be delighted to meet you, I'm sure. Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place.
오면서 구경은 다 했습니다. 예.
Secret city built deep in the mountains. Many hundreds of
깊은 산 속에 지어진 비밀스러운 도시. 아름답다고 일단 맞장구는 쳐줍시다.
Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months. 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, living and working together in our own little paradise.
22명의
And
사람.
in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft, nothing. Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary as a city?
이게 마을 안에 사람이 적으니까 가능한 일이네. 서로가 서로를 감시하면서 나쁜 짓을 못하게 하는
The
거지.
reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here,
이곳 사람 중 단 한 명이라도 죄를 지으면
will die.
모두가 죽는데요.
You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." From what we can gather, breaking the law here will anger the gods and provoke a terrible punishment. Like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined, turning us all to gold. We've come to call it.
말 그대로의 그 황금률이 아니라
It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have, and each day I grow more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up.
그러면 굳이 이 마을에 살아야 되나? 왜 여기에 있는 거지 이 사람들은?
Somebody in this city is about to break the golden rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can stop them, our doom is assured. I know that's a lot to take in, and you look like you have questions. Please, ask away.
말씀하시는 게 되게 고풍스럽죠. 어떤 행위를 죄로 취급하죠? 일단 훔치기는 죄로 취급한다. 당해봤다.
An intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes or to some other ill-defined?
그럼 내가 훔친다는 개념이
Of
아니고
course, everyone agrees on the basics.
도둑질과 폭행은 금지고 살인도 당연히 안 된다. 훔친다는 개념이 아니고 빌린다는 개념으로 돈을 가져가면
What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass?
거짓말도 안 돼? 거짓말도 안 돼?
Infidelity, suicide. As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the empire to a standard never before seen.
그래서
And we must honor the
판사구나.
peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper, as Rome has for centuries.
좋은 생각인지는 잘 모르겠네요. 법이 언제나 도덕적인 건 아니니까요. 그리고 당신들의 법과 관습은 내가 온 곳에선 야만적이라고 여겨지거든요. 이거지.
Barbaric. What are you talking about? The empire is the most
내가 좀
civilizing
건방졌나?
force in the known world.
약간 표정이 뭔가 조금 변하신 것 같은데?
In the darkness. For 800 years she has borne great statesmen, philosophers, poets, artists and engineers. We have comprehensive laws protecting the rights of our citizens, which have unified countless warring tribes all across the Mediterranean and beyond, from Gallia to Judea. All our citizens are treated the same, regardless of the color of their skin or their sexual preference.
평등한 취급을 받아?
When our people are starving, they are given food rations, and when they are wronged, they have the right to bring the guilty party before.
지금 그런 거 같진 않던데.
Our laws forbid treason, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson, and so on. No other civilization in the world is so advanced, and you have the hubris to call us
자부심이 굉장하시네. 이럴 때는 그냥 일단 호의를 이끌어냅시다.
Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies in the shadows.
제가 도와드릴 테니까요.
Be keeping a close eye on them if I were you.
제가 도와드릴 테니까 저를 도와주세요. 원래 시간대로 돌아가도록. 요거부터.
You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient
생명의 순환과 부활을 권장하는 프로세로피나 여신께 올리는 고대의 의식.
It's said to open a doorway in time.
시간을 넘나드는 문을 여는 의식.
One person can pass through it and travel back.
한 사람만 그 문을 통해 과거로 돌아갈 수
And
있대.
when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person.
이 사람
was you.
통찰력이 있네.
You don't belong in our time.
이때 사람이 아니란 걸 알고 있어. 거짓말을 한번 해볼게요. 아닌가? 거짓말 한번 해봅시다.
Pointless lie. Please tell me, in your time.
어쭈 통찰력이 좀 있으신
See,
What
had become of us? Of this city?
아 근데 이 말을 하면 안 될 것 같은데? 아무것도 못 봤다고 합시다.
But I see the truth in your eyes.
결말을 알고 있으면 어떻게 살아가겠어 사람들이.
All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with
재물을
all
바쳐?
rituals, some sacrifices
아
involved.
사람을 바치는 건 아니네. 그 정도면 되지 뭐.
Food, or in some cases, a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is
어?
rather more.
바치네 사람의 목숨.
The life of the person performing
아이씨.
the ritual. I don't suppose you saw any.
이 아저씨 뭐 하고 있었지?
in the future.
못 봤는데?
I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't.
이런 동상을 봤나 내가? 장담은 못합니다.
Thank you for your candor. I
전
suppose.
거짓말을 하는 성격은 아니기 때문에. 왜 직접 조사하지 못하는
I
거죠?
believe you're in the best position to go around asking people questions.
아
You're new here, and
이곳에 온 지 얼마 안 됐으니까 더 경계하는 거
as
아닌가
for
원래는?
me, well, it pains me to say my attempts to impose order have not earned me many friends. I fear I may not even remain magistrate after today's election. The people here would only treat my curiosity with suspicion. You shouldn't have that problem, though, unless, of course, you get off on the wrong foot.
일단 알겠습니다. 예. 의심 가는 대상이
Never stare at a problem for so long that you can't
아
see it.
문제를 너무나도 오래 봐서 본질조차 보지 못하게 된 적이
What you need
있네요.
here is a fresh pair of eyes. The less I prejudice the independence of your investigation.
그러니까 내가 알아내라. 황금률을 깨라는 게 당신이 아닌지는 어떻게 압니까?
Me? Why would you suspect me? I've just told you. I'm about to sacrifice my own life to ensure these people have a second
다시 한번
chance.
기회를 준다.
What reason could you possibly have to suspect me of all people? I'm glad
일단
you
맞장구
think so.
쳐주고요.
Without trust, without each other, we won't be able to prevent what is about to happen.
센틸라의 실종?
So you know about that already. It's a devastating loss. Of
이
course.
마을 안에서 갖가지 사건 사고들이 있는데 그거에 대해서 하나하나씩 알아가야 되나 봐요.
Break the golden rule. So I don't think it's connected with our imminent demise. Still, if you happen to find her and return her to me, I would be
아이를 찾아줘야
eternally
되고
grateful.
저기 문지기 펜던트 찾아줘야 되고
Well, all right. There are
너무
those who
바쁜데?
wish to vote me out of office so that they can pursue their own misguided political agenda. Frankly, their selfishness and recklessness risk destabilizing the entire city. I would be looking very
아하,
carefully
그래?
at them if I were you. If I understand Proserpina's ritual correctly, that problem should take care of itself. Let me see if I can explain. If you manage to prevent the
황금률을
sin
깨는
that
죄를
breaks the
미연에
golden
방지해낸다면
I won't need
나는
to
자네를
prove
이곳으로
it.
데려올 이유도 없고 차원문을 열지도 않을 테니 자네는 애초에 이곳에 올 수가 없게 되는 걸세.
Yes, you'll have created
역설이
a
성립하게
paradox.
된다.
If this occurs, you should be flung back to your own time, having changed the past
그러니까
for
내가
all
과거에 바꾸는 거에 직접 관여를 했지만 그로 인해서 과거의 미래가 바뀌어버리니까 나는 이곳에 오지 않은 게 뭐 이상한 역설이네요. 그런 것 같죠? 이 질문들은 나중에도 할 수 있습니다.
Ah, good. So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break the golden rule?
선택의 여지가 없는 것 같죠?
Suppose you do. But I'm hoping that even if you're not burdened with a sense
일이
of
잘못되면은
self-sacrifice, you'll at least see the sense in.
잘못을 내가 해버리고 저기 과거로 돌아가면 돼. 괜찮아.
Now, I need you to investigate the city.
그럼 내가 이 모든 걸 잘 끝내고 나서 원래 내 시간대로 돌아가야 되는구나. 그러면 황금상이 돼 있던 사람들이 다 사라져 있겠네. 도미티우스가 의심된다고 얘기를 하래요.
Oh, and one last thing. If I were you,
아폴로의 성소로 가서
I'd start my
루클레티아부터
investigation by
만나보겠네.
visiting Lucretia at the shrine of Apollo in the Forum.
누구들이시죠?
Keep an eye out for Sentilla.
예, 안녕하세요. 예. 여자분 먼저.
A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you.
에키티아.
I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?
사연을 먼저 들어봅시다. 한숨을 먼저 쉬셨어.
I take it people are quite
그랬나? 좀 무례했나? 그러네.
quite charming.
내 소개를 먼저 했어야 되는데.
Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vesta
아,
priestess
베스타의
without
여사제야.
formality or courtesy ask, "What is your story?"
제가 실례를 했군요. 죄송합니다.
The proper approach would be to arrange an introduction
에?
for a mutual acquaintance in high office.
권력이 좀 있으신 분이시다.
You would already know how to address me. And then you would find a way to satisfy your curiosity.
자기 자신에게
More indirect.
호의적으로 다가올 수 있는 방법을 알려주는 것 같아요.
What an unnecessarily formal way to communicate that is.
음,
So, let's do it your way. You just keep being
이것도
yourself
마음에
and
드나 봐.
ask whatever you
신선하고
want.
좋대.
It'll
괜찮다.
be a refreshing
다행이다.
change. You know, I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here?
카렌이라는 젊은 여자가 강물에 빠져 의식을 잃은 저를 건져내서 여기로 보냈어요 라고 말을 해야 돼?
Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you.
왜? 카렌이 무슨 뜻인데?
Why is that?
밈?
The memes?
카렌이라는 밈이 있나? 카레 그건가? 밈은 다른 사람들과 같이 즐기는 작은 그림이에요. 그 자체로 일종의 언어가 됐다고 봐도 돼요.
So, a bit like Egyptian hieroglyphs then?
그런 셈이죠 라고
So
합시다.
your people make hieroglyphics depicting this accursed character, the one they call Karen. I wonder if...
Huh?
No,
Why?
I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just that you've got me thinking.
왜요?
Have you spoken with any of the others about how they arrived here too?
지금 물어보고들이
I
있어요.
really think you should. Go around and ask them what they remember and see if you notice any patterns. I know. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you too.
리비아 할머니가 무슨 일을 당했죠?
Up until a few weeks ago, she was a perfectly productive member of our little community, darning clothes and cutting hair. She was always so chatty, always seeking out newcomers and asking them where they were from and how they wound
근데
up here.
일종의 사건 이후로 사람이
About a month
바뀌었구나.
ago, she suddenly changed.
아폴로의 성소 드디어 왔습니다. 루크레티아.
What are you doing in here? Can't you see this woman is dying?
중독됐다고?
She's been poisoned. She needs the resin of
실피움이란
plant
식물의
called
수지가
But
필요한데
that Culas cobolates
데시우스가
Theseus
주질
won't give it to
않는데.
me. It's too late. She just slipped away.
너무 늦었다고?
She was poisoned.
독살 당했다. 뺏어서라도 썼겠지만
So all I could do is
그것조차
come back
범죄니까
here and
황금률
just let
때문에
her die. I kept
아무것도 할 수가 없구나.
apologizing.
사람을 살리기
And now
위한
I'll never know
범죄조차도.
who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without
아하.
breaking the golden rule, or why she cursed that
뱀의
snake's
잔인한 검은
cruel black
눈길을
eyes with her
저주했는지.
dying breath.
독살을 한다는 것도 범죄잖아. 근데 어떻게 황금률의 감시를 피한 거지?
Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again.
지금 이 사람은 살릴 수 없겠지만 똑같은 일이 벌어지지 않게 예방을 하겠다.
I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that genetricum fututo and scratching his eyes out.
실피움 수지를 얻어내야겠네.
Terrible shame what happened to you, dear. But we just have to carry on, don't we? Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of
존미세
1,000
이거
denarii.
미쳤구만.
Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it.
Take it. 가져가거라?
Hear what? You sure you're feeling all right? If you're hearing things, perhaps you should pay a visit to Lucretia's clinic. We don't want another Navia on our hands.
나의
She claimed
비야?
the statues were whispering
어?
to her.
나랑 똑같은 거네?
Then she shut herself in the palace and we never heard from her.
저랑 지금 똑같은 증상인
I
거죠.
digress. Do you want this silver?
궁전으로 들어갈 방법을 찾아라.
Well, if you did that, you'd break the golden rule, and we'd share the same fate as the last lot who lived here. Is that what you want?
하하. 빼앗아서 도망치래. 훔쳐봅시다.
The many shall suffer
황금
the
조각상.
sins of the one.
뭐야? 나한테 활 쏜다. 무빙. 무빙. 이 아저씨가 먼저 왔어. 따라오게? 돌아갑시다. 돌아가면은 내 인벤토리에 그게 그대로 저장돼 있나? 그러면 다행인데. 돌아왔습니다. 또다시. 소지품창. 실패용 수지 생겼어. 내가 왔어요.
What are you doing in here? Can't
알고
you see
있어요.
she needs the
자,
What?
받으세요.
Quick, give it here. Yulia, Yulia.
살렸어.
You need to swallow this.
살렸어?
Here, let me help you.
빨리 달라면서 그렇게 천천히 먹여. 빨리 살려봐.
Hopefully
됐어?
in a moment she should be able to breathe normally. That was extraordinary. How did you know she needed this exact thing? And at this exact
제가 그런
moment?
통찰력이 좀
Are you some
있습니다.
kind
예.
of oracle?
예. 시간 여행자라고 말합시다.
I'm sorry, I must have misheard you. I think it's your accent because it
어차피 이
sounded
사람
like you said
다음 인생에서 또 기억 못 하거든요.
But whatever kind of traveler you are, that was like the gods hearing my prayers and intervening. You just saved a person's
그렇게
life and you should
생각하세요.
be proud of yourself. She might even be able to
그럼
thank you
율리아랑도
for
또
you.
얘기를 해봐야.
And maybe she can tell us who poisoned her and who
뱀의
she
잔인한
meant when
검은
she was
눈길.
muttering about that snake's cruel black eyes. In the meantime, I'm happy to help
도움이
you with
필요하면
whatever
얼마든지
it is you
말씀하래.
need.
그러니까 율리아랑 대화를 나눠봅시다. 살렸다. 너 내가 살렸다 임마.
Oh, it's you. Sorry, I'm still a bit out of it.
아유, 살으셨다면 다행입니다.
Thanks for trying to help
예.
me, I suppose. Was there something you wanted? Lucretia says I'm supposed to rest.
무슨 일이 있었던 건지.
As much as I'm grateful that you tried to
안심하고
help me,
말할 수 있는
it's
문제가
just not
아니라고?
safe for me to talk about it. Please. No more
뭔가를
gossip.
알고 있지만 말을 할 수가 없나 보네.
The golden rule. That's the least of my worries. The gods may be
말레올루스와
cruel,
클라우디아가
but
그보다
Manius
훨씬
and
더하대.
Claudia are far crueler. Please, just leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it.
무슨 일이 있었던 거지 대체?
So when my new friend Aurelia
나가는
offered
방법을
me a
팔겠다고.
secret way out,
1000데나리를
and I did.
말레올루스한테 돈을 빌렸어.
So
30년
I'd
동안
work
몸으로
off the
갚아야
debt
한다는
over 30
계약서?
years. Do you want to know what it was?
뭡니까?
Hemlock.
독민 죽는 거.
It's a deadly poison.
죽는
made
거.
from a plant. Drink this, she said, and you'll be out of here in no time. Of course, I demanded my money back, but she refused.
자살을
She
시도했던
pointed to a
거구나.
sign on her tavern saying, "Let the buyer beware." Tried to escape without
하하.
paying them back. Only
그리고 바로 또
he
일렀어.
didn't seem upset or surprised at all. In fact, he just thanked her. And that's when I realized the two of them had planned the whole thing
야,
from the
씨.
beginning.
그러니까 그거는 범죄가 아니야? 사기친 거잖아.
That's what I said to the magistrate. I went to Sentilla and begged for help, but he said the law was clear. I'd signed over my labor for 30 years and there was nothing he could do. I thought about resisting too. But Malleolus said if I didn't submit, I'd break the golden rule.
그래서 30년 동안
And I
그렇게 살
couldn't be
바엔
responsible for all those deaths.
차라리
So
죽자고
he
생각을
locked me
했고.
in his villa. Confiscated everything I owned as collateral.
아이고.
And made me wear immodest, humiliating outfits while I worked
수치스럽게
day in,
모욕당했네.
out. His wife Claudia was just as bad. She set me to work on an endless
보람도
stream
없고
of
힘만 드는
futile,
일을 계속 시켰대.
demeaning tasks. Honestly, it would have been better if the boys
아니야,
had
아니야.
been allowed
아니야.
to run
일단
its
살아야죠.
It seems this is the fate the gods have chosen for
일단 살리고
me, for
나서
trying to escape. At least until someone
그놈들을
brought
어떻게
the
내가
golden
처리를
rule.
해줘야 되는 것 같아.
Maybe it wouldn't be so bad.
당신 자유를 사려면 돈이 얼마나 들죠?
A lot. But it doesn't matter.
울피우스와 자살하기로
I
약속했다고?
made a suicide pact with Ulpius last night.
울피우스를 또
He's in
찾아가야겠네.
exactly the same position as I am. Malleolus and Aurelius set the same trap for him a month after they did it to me. He and I are in this
피해자가 또
together.
있어.
He's probably already thrown himself from the bluff into Malleolus's villa by now.
말레올루스의 저택으로
If
몸을
so,
던졌다.
I'd never be able to live with myself, knowing I broke my promise to him. I doubt you could make it up to the bluff in time.
늦기 전에
I
절벽
don't
위로.
know who you are or why you seem so determined to help me, but thank you.
그럼 일단 파비아도 찾아야 되고. 어? 파비아네? 갑자기 찾으니까 딱 나오네. 무기가 있었다고?
And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's gonna break the golden rule.
도시로 들어오는 무장 괴한을 상대하라.
None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm.
활을 갖고 있구나 또
This man's
때마침.
bow is the only one in the city. You'll just have to improvise. Are you daft or just callous? If you don't stop him, we're...
뭐야? 뭐야 어디가? 어디가?
The shrine is collapsed.
성소 어? 파비아가 죽었. 뭐야? 뭐야?
Fabia, no! Oh God, she's dead. Did anyone see that?
사고야?
The whole shrine just collapsed
사고사야?
here. Oh Fabia, why did you?
그러니까 왜 글로 왜 들어간 거야 갑자기?
Poor sweet girl.
아니 여기 경고장이 있네. 주의. 언제든지 성소가 무너질 수 있음. 아니 그럼 왜 들어가셨? 여긴 뭐야? 그리스 여인 조각상. 그리스식 조각상. 이 신전에서 보시는 여신인 것 같다. 이 여신을 아는 그리스 주민이 있지 않을까? 파비아가 알았을... 어? 뭐야 이거? 어이? 뭐야? 석유 램프. 호병. 어? 뭔가 로딩이 됐습니다. 뭐지? 뭐야? 뭐야? 나 어디로 가고 있는 거야? 리라. 어? 뭐야 여기? 지하 도시가 있습니다? 사람이 한 명 있는데 누구세요?
Ah, a visitor.
누구세요?
Welcome, welcome. May I ask your name?
아니 제가 먼저 그쪽 이름부터 먼저 듣고 싶은데요?
Do not know my name. For merely to speak of my existence in the
에?
city above could bring destruction on you all. Tell me, what brings you all the way down here?
우연히.
Then perhaps the fates brought you here to learn the secrets.
아니 아저씨 누구세요?
I will tell you everything I know, but first, a request. I have been living down here alone for many years, with nobody to talk to but myself. The one thing I long for above all else before I
철학적 논쟁을 나누고 싶다고요? 저랑요? 그러시기엔 머리도 그렇고 너무 현자 같으신데.
Let us find out with this simple question. Have you deduced the name?
와, 이 뭐야, 이 퀴즈를 또 맞춰야 되나 보네.
You have much to learn. It's best if you
아, 뭔가를 알아내고 이쪽으로 와야 되나 봐. 그리고 목욕탕에 무기를 든 사람이 있다니까 활을 거기서 뺏어야 될 것 같죠? 어디를 이렇게 보고 있는 거야? 활.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quintius Crispus, otherwise known as
줄여서 킹크디우스.
Do you know where he is? I'm not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you.
이 사람
I
얼굴
am here with orders from Emperor
네로페아의
Nero
명을
himself
받고
to find
왔다.
and execute the cultist Quintius for terrible crimes against the Empire. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, I will put this out.
그게 아니라 이 동네 오신 이상 범죄를 저지르시면은 큰일이 납니다, 선생님.
You are not off to a good start. When I ask you a question,
좀 진정을 하시고요.
an answer.
예.
Is that understood?
알겠습니다.
Thank you.
에이.
Now tell me, who are you people?
나도 여기가 아직 누군지 몰라.
Oh, how very welcoming of you. You want me to let my guard down, is that it? You're not going to get your claws into me. I was told Quintius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult. Oh, don't play coy with me. I don't care if you're worshipping Bacchus, Magna Mater, or Christ. You lot are all the same to me. Always sneaking off to your secret sanctuaries.
뭐야 이 광기 이 아저씨.
Indoctrinating each other with your little mantras. The Emperor may have tolerated your activities up until now, but after what Quintius did, those days are
아니 그게 누군데? 나 만나본 적도 없는데.
You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths?
순교? 어떻게 들어오셨는데?
So you admit you're not allowed to leave. Threatening me is not going to help you, but in any case, that sounds an awful lot like a cult to me.
뭔 소리요? 나도 몰라요. 아니 이 아저씨 이상한 아저씨네.
I take it this is some kind of mantra you all believe? You've clearly been indoctrinated.
아니 그게 아니라 진짜라니까. 이거 직접 겪어 보시든가.
Where did you lot get enough?
쏴, 야 쏴. 쏴.
You lot are practicing human sacrifice.
아니 그게 아니라 말 있는 그대로 얘기를 해주는 건데. 아이 그 참.
Yes. Because I'm the real villain here. It's all clear to me now.
원래?
The secret sanctuary, the
얼랄랄라?
indoctrination, the mantra.
이상한 아저씨네 이거.
Your cultists.
쏘세요 그냥. 쏘세요.
What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such zeal.
깊이 마신 게 아니고. 이 답답하네 이 아저씨 정말.
You still have a chance to redeem yourself by telling me where Quintius is. Do not wait.
아니 퀸크티우스가 누군데? 누군데?
Very well. Here's what I know.
40에서 50대 눈동자가 각각 초록색과 파란색으로 다름. 과대망상증 환자. 오드아이의 과대망상증. 40, 50대.
The Emperor says he and his cult, your cult. This is your last chance. Are you going to tell me?
나도 모르는데 일단 쏠 거야? 쏠 거야? 아이씨. 그 화살을 쏘면 여기 모두가 죽을 겁니다. 아니 아저씨도 죽는다니까요. 아저씨, 할래?
The many shall suffer for the sins of the
무빙.
one.
죽고 나면 파밍 해야겠다. 오케이. 야야야. 파밍이 안 되는데? 여기도 하나 있거든요. 안 맞아주고. 뒤에 문이 열리네? 비켜봐. 여기는 또 뭐야? 4,000원 화살. 아야야야. 죽으면 안 돼. 죽으면 안 돼. 어? 그리고 다음 생으로. 그리고 나서 일단 저기 언덕 가야 돼요. 언덕 가서 살립시다. 나 아픈데? 잠깐만. 아이 말 걸지 마. 씨. 이거 갖다 주는구나. 오케이. 그리고 나서 나는 이제 제일 높은 데로 가서 사람을 살려야 돼. 뛰어내리지 않게. 어딨어요? 어디 계세요? 저기 계실 것 같은데? 제발 뛰어내리지 마세요. 제발 안 늦었어. 어?
I'm Octavia.
아니야 잠깐 비켜봐요. 울피우스랑 얘기를 해야 돼요. 기다려봐요. 안돼. 노노노노노노노노노노노노노노. 이리 와. 이리 와요. 이거 어떻게야? 안돼. 아니 일로 와봐. 그걸 이제 해결할 수가 있어요. 예? 아직 사실 모르지만 해결할 수 있어요. 이리 오세요. 왜 그래?
Please just think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want?
I'm sorry, but I just don't care anymore.
Please, Ulpius. Help him. If he goes through with it, it could be the end for us all. I don't know what to do. I've never had to deal with this sort of thing.
오케이. 제가 해볼게요. 비켜보세요. 나오세요. 나와. 씨.
Thank you. And please,
그럼요.
choose your words carefully.
부드럽게 얘기할게요.
Let me guess. You're going to lecture me on how suicide is a crime against the Empire.
아니요.
You're not going to trick me. I'm no coward.
근데 안 뛰어내렸었던 거 아니야?
Like what? I'm stuck slaving away for that culus cumulatis for the rest of my life. What do I?
이 사람 안 뛰어내리나 사실?
You're just saying that to buy time.
아니 율리아에 대해서 좀 얘기를 나누면 되지 않아? 원래? 내 사랑 센틸라?
I'm sorry.
원래? 끝이야?
I can't believe he went through with it.
다음에 또 와서 센텔라 얘기를 해서 살려야 되는구나.
Well, I suppose it means suicide isn't a sin under the Golden Rule. So I guess that means whichever god is responsible for it, it isn't mine.
뛰어내리라고? 뛰어내려도 사는구나. 저기 구멍으로 맞춰서 떨어지는 거지 여기. 오케이. 여기 또 시체가 있습니다. 일단 단서들을 조금 얻은 다음에 대화를 나눠볼게요. 율리아의 편지. 율리아가 포획자 말레올로스와 클라우디아에게 너희 연놈은 지옥에나 떨어져라. 너희가 이걸 읽을 때쯤이면 난 이미 죽어있겠지. 너희 빚쟁이들한테 시달리느니 죽는 편이 나으니까 부디 너희 연놈들이 타르타로스에서 평생 독수리에게 간을 쪼아먹히길 기원하마. 편지를 이렇게 남겨놓고 자살 시도를 했었구나. 울피우스의 편지. 울피우스가 잃어버린 사랑에게 신께서 당신을 굽어 살피시길. 난 버틸 수 있을 만큼 버텼어. 하지만 당신이 없는 삶은 의미가 없어. 에덴 동산에서 다시 만날 수 있기를. 근데 지금 말 걸면 놀랄 텐데.
Leap into my villa from the balcony 100 feet above?
그런 용기가 있는 사람이죠.
Either extremely reckless or impressively clever. Well, why have you risked life and limb to see me? I'm Malleolus, and if it wasn't for this interruption, I'd be practicing my victory speech for the election later today.
오드아이. 이 사람이네?
I'm glad you asked. I'll finally restore freedom to this city just as I've been promising. These good people have suffered long enough under
초록색 파란색 눈 오드아이. 말레올루스를 찾고 있었구나.
By declaring there's no such thing as the Golden Rule. It's a children's fable exploited by Sentius to frighten us into submission. Wait, don't tell me you've fallen victim to that monstrous lie?
황금률은 실존합니다 라고 말하는 것보다는 지금 표정 보니까 왜 그렇게 생각하시는지 물어보는 게 나을 것
The
같아요.
person making a claim bears the onus of proving that claim. Can you do that? Can you prove the Golden Rule?
아, 증명이 되지 않았기 때문이다.
Nonsense. There's no way you can prove that. If it was real and you'd seen someone break it, then you'd be dead already. I trust you can through the door this time.
아, 문 바로 옆에 열쇠가 있대요. 아, 그러네. 요걸로 2층을 먼저 가봅시다. 2층 열리지 않을까? 맞네. 딸? 클라우디야? 다 알고 왔는데 기중품은 어디 있죠?
Talk. What business could you possibly have?
클라우디야, 왜 울고 계셨어요?
My marital affairs are no concern of yours. Thank you very much.
아하. 갑질하던 그 아줌마구만. 나쁜 아줌마 이거.
I think a better question is why I have quite enough marriage trouble already. But
이번 생에 아직 알아낼 게 더 있으니까 범죄는 저지르지 않겠습니다. 여긴 또 뭐야?
You're not thinking about going into the
수조?
cistern, are you?
안 들어가려 했는데 방금 흥미가 생겼어요. 이게 정답이지.
Contrary little cap at murder, aren't you? Nobody's told you about Hannibal. Ugh, why do I have to do everything round here? So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. Used to go down into the cisterns looking for junk he could clean up himself. One day, a few weeks back,
수조에 귀신이 들렸다.
the cisterns are haunted.
아주
Said he
흥미롭구만.
could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody believed him, because who trusts a Carthaginian, right?
칼을
Anyway,
타고
a few days later, he goes back in. And hours go by.
죽었나?
and he hasn't come back out, yeah?
탈출할 수 있는 공간이 있는 거 아니야? 아, 아니네.
But in the
죽었구만.
distance, I can just make out his body, sprawled out on the
아,
ground.
그랬구만.
And hunched over him was something that made my blood run cold. No word of a lie.
뭔가가 쭈그린 채 그놈을 덮고 있었다고?
Creature.
어?
Like the corpse of a man who'd been flayed.
사람을 먹는 무언가가 저 안에 있다고? 어? 아, 직접 보라고? 안에 뭐가 있는지? 그러면 또 보러 가야지. 무기를 먼저 얻어야 되나? 뭐가 있다는 거야? 봅시다. 뭐가 있... 진짜네? 스켈레톤이 있네? 미쳤나봐. 나를 죽여줘? 뭐야? 뭐야? 황금이 가만히 있... 뭐야 씨 공격하려고 하잖아 너. 뭐야? 나를 죽게 해줘. 이러네. 도움이 필요하구나. 달 펜던트 어떻게 죽게 해줘요 아저씨. 어떻게 해줘. 말을 해보시든가. 가봅시다. 아유 가만히 좀 계세요 씨. 동굴에 들어가려다가 압사당한 것 같대. 나 때릴 거야? 가만히 있어 씨. 여기 또 뭐가 있네. 상부 수조로 들어갈 기발한 방법을 찾아. 이거를 왜 못하는 거지? 타는 방법이 있나? 덩굴을? 뒤에 공간이 있나 본데? 여기 있다. 아씨, 여기를 못 올라가나? 이렇게 하는 게 맞나? 대나리 돈 준 거야? 끝이야? 피지컬로 그냥 해버렸습니다. 저 덩굴 타고 오르는 것도 뭔가 방법이 있는 것 같고, 무슨 아이템을 먹던가 아니면 내가 살을 빼야 되나?
We're finally alone. We have? Wait, if I understand correctly.
와, 두 번째 대화부터는 이렇게. 근데 진짜 통찰력이 있으시네, 이 사람. 바로 이해를 하네. 와, 뭐냐? 센티아랑 이번엔 좀 호의적으로 대화를 한번 나눠봅시다.
I wish Horatius would. You know, some people say it's the creation of an all-seeing God who's watching everything we do. But what kind of an awful, incompetent God would let my sister go missing on his or her watch? Did you hear that? Curse you, you coward! Where is my sister? What do you have to say for yourself? No response.
신이 없다고 생각하는구나.
That's what I thought. I'm telling you, this mysterious god of ours has to be asleep on the job.
신성 모독으로는 황금률이 깨지지 않는다.
It really is just a children's fable my father is exploiting to frighten us into behaving. I suppose we will. It was 3 weeks ago.
사랑에 빠졌어. 그 올리푸스였나? 뭐였지? 올라푸스?
Happy. In love. We went into our rooms. I went to sleep. And when I woke up, she was gone. That's it. I think so. Yes. She was very careful about keeping
그럼 일단 걔를 살려야겠네.
Even from me. Because our father had plans to marry her off eventually, and even a rumor
이미 정략 결혼에 다 계획이 있었는데.
I don't know, but it's been 3 weeks since she disappeared, and he hasn't come forward.
일단 센틸라의 얘기를 이용해서 그 올림프라 그 사람을 살리고 대화를 더 나눠봐야겠네요.
So you'll help me find her.
물론입니다.
Oh, thank you. You should probably take a look through her room.
정문 바로 옆에 있는
just
방.
by the front door. Maybe you'll find something the rest of
울피우스였네.
Oh no. That's
센틸라 거야?
The question is, what was it doing in the cistern? A skeleton. Oh gods. You mean she's
에? 아니지. 몇 주 만에
What do you mean?
몇 주 만에 그렇게 그치 이게 딱 맞지. 3주 만에 해골이 되는 게.
But didn't Domitius say there's some kind of creature down there that killed and ate Hannibal?
그렇다고 해골이 되냐고 사람이.
Attacked her too.
다 뜯어 먹었다고? 센틸라가 아니라 한니발이었던데.
What are you saying? That somebody crept down there and put Sentilla's amulet on another body to make us think she was dead?
센틸라의 죽음을
Why would
위장하려고.
anyone do such a thing?
센틸라가 자작극을 꾸민 것 같다.
What? You don't know her at all. She would never do such a thing. And even if she did, where is she now? So this is just baseless speculation.
또 화났어?
I won't have you peddling. Kindly keep your insane conspiracy theories to yourself and leave me alone to grieve.
이거 말 잘못하면 계속 화내네.
Salve, Dooley. How are you doing today?
둘리?
Sad. Am I going to die in here?
I don't think so, my friend. It's election day today. Perhaps our new magistrate will be kinder than Sentius.
무슨 짓을 했길래?
I hope so. Galerius, what happens when you die?
잡혀 들어간 거지? 이쪽엔 또 감옥이 있었군요. 여튼
When you die, a ferryman.
둘리 하이.
Hello?
하이.
My
무슨
name's
일이시죠?
Dooley. I live here now because I got in trouble and they said they had to lock me up. They called me a liar, Billy. Yes. They said I have
편지?
to live here now and gave me this letter.
내가 읽어줄게요. 줘봐요.
I'm not good with words. Do you You think you could read it for me?
착한 동네 바보형 같은데? 어휴 씨, 편지 뭐 이렇게 기냐? 치안판사 센티우스가 두일리우스에게 내가 이 편지를 쓰는 것은 자네가 사라진 보물을 찾겠다는 망상에 사로잡혀 반사회적인 행동을 일삼았기 때문일세. 몇 주 전 자네의 보호자 한니발이 사망하여 공경에 처한 사실은 측은히 여기는 바이네만 자네가 알아둬야 할 중요한 사실이 있다네. 자네가 찾는 보물은 존재하지 않아. 자네는 기억력에 문제가 있으니 그저 잘못 기억한 것일지도 모르겠군. 더 중요한 사실은 자네가 모든 시민의 접근이 엄격하게 금지된 수조를 포함해 여러 곳에 무단 침입하다가 적발되었다는 것이네. 그래서 안타깝지만 자네를 이 공동체의 골칫거리로 규정하고 자유를 제한할 수밖에 없었어. 그렇지 않으면 자네가 황금률을 깰지도 모르니 말이야. 또다시 기억에 문제가 생긴다면 이 편지를 읽고 자네가 왜 감금되었는지 떠올리길 바라네.
What does it say?
무슨 보물을 말씀하시는 거지? 말해봐.
Hannibal used to look after me. He said he always would. But then he said if anything
아주 귀한 물건을 찾으라고 했다고? 열쇠?
All I remember is he said something
수조로 올라가려니까 날 여기 넣었다.
Now nobody looks after me.
에퀴 그 여사제?
Hannibal Galerius already tried. What about the rules?
아 이렇게 하면 열쇠 안 줘?
Like Galerius? He's nice.
갈레리우스를 치안판사로 만들라고?
If you help make him magistrate, he can. Hannibal said it was in the system.
상부 수조 열쇠를 얻어라.
Remember what it was. Just bye bye.
갈레리우스 때마침 나타났구만. 치안판사 한번. 아 그래요? 혹시 또 다른 장비 없으신가?
Of course. It's because I already gave it to you in a previous time loop, isn't it?
오 똑똑한데?
Sorry to ask, but is there any chance?
아 도와드리죠. 도와드리고 말고요.
Well, I've been trying to get this rare flower from the rocks.
아 그
It's
꽃.
too steep to climb, so I hung a rope over the lake and made this pulley device. Only I couldn't quite summon the nerve to use it. Do you think you could use the device again? Look, I'll tell you everything. Oh, thank you.
지금 바로 샥수하기로 하고. 갈레리우스 잠깐만. 혹시 그 치안판사 설마 해볼 생각 없으신가?
Mainly as a way of getting Dooley set free, but from what I hear, Malleolus has the election stitched up. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. I mean,
정확하지. 꽃 줄게 꽃. 구했어.
No, brilliant! You did it. Well done.
Yeah.
This is going to make her so happy.
에퀴티아가 갈레리우스 에퀴티아 좋아하는구나. 아이고 첫눈에 반했구만. 왜지? 왜? 아 순결의 맹세를 했다.
The breaking of which would be an extremely serious affront to the gods and a capital offense. Even if she was just suspected of being unchaste, it could lead to her execution. Unchaste Vestals get buried alive. Oh, and I'd get flogged to death for good measure. But at the same time, she's just so kind and graceful, and I feel so much love for her that if I don't tell her, it'll burn a hole in my chest. I don't know what to do.
저 또 화내면서 지나가네.
What do you think? What would you do?
남자는 직진이지.
Now that I hear you say that out loud, I hear how crazy it is.
아 그래?
I think maybe I need to be a bit more cautious. What I need is a go-between. Someone who can tell her how I feel and find out how she feels without risking her life.
에퀴티아가
What do you say? Do you think you could have?
뭔데요?
Wonderful. Now all I need
아
to do
짝사랑이
is
좋다고 하라고?
and tell her it's from a...
일단 꽃을 받으시죠.
Oh, how lovely. It just happens to be my...
짝사랑이 주는 거고 이 이상의 행동을 할 생각은 없다고 했어요. 그저 사랑받고 있다는 사실을 알아달라고 하더군요. 너무 스윗하다.
I see.
갈레리우스인 걸 알아.
Of course I do. I think everyone in the city
아이고.
knows. That man is a wonderful human being and my favorite person.
세상에 제일 좋아하는 사람이야. 서로
But he is the
좋아하지만
most subtle secret admirer you could imagine. The way he looks at me with those puppy dog eyes. Plus, he's been trying for weeks to get his hands on this flower. He went to so much effort too. Suspending that rope above the lake,
아이고.
inventing that pulley device all on his
노력하는
own.
것도 알고.
Just stand there each morning, looking at the flower, trying to summon the courage to seize it.
순해 보구만.
My heart. Tell that adorable oaf that my
정조의 맹세는 36살이 되면 끝난대.
So if we ever make it out of here,
하하.
waiting a few years, then tell him I love him too.
어우. 살아갈 명분이 생기는 거지.
I hope so.
Thanks. What did she?
당신이 보낸 줄 알고 있던데요. 이렇게 말해주라네요. 36살이 되면 결혼해도 된다. 자기도 좋아하고 있다.
That is the best news I've ever heard in my life. Oh,
혹시
thank you.
뭐
Thank you so much.
좋은
You have
아이템
no
같은
idea
거
how
혹시
happy you
주시나?
made me. I wish there was something I could
가진 게
do to
없어?
thank you
에이.
properly. I don't have
아니
much
저
to
풀
offer you.
타는 거 뭐
All
없어?
I can do is tell you where there's a secret
동전
stash of coins
은닉함의
you might be
위치?
interested in.
말씀하세요. 바위 동굴을 보면 근처에 계단이 있고 바위로 들어가는 작은 문이 있다.
If you look carefully, you can see
바위
a chest.
동굴?
Unfortunately, one of those golden huntress statues is blocking the path, and I'm not game to move it. If you can figure out how to get past it, I reckon there might be a small.
아, 바위 동굴이라고 말하는 게 여기인 것 같아요. 여기. 요건 언제 갈 수 있냐면 제가 범죄를 저질렀을 때 갈 수 있습니다.
Salve, friend. Oh, you?
오케이. 필품 수지 주고. 근데 내가 지금 무거운가 봐. 살을 빼야 되나 봐. 몇 시간 만에 살을 어떻게 빼 근데? 헤이. 죽지 마셈. 오케이. 비켜.
All right.
비켜.
Oh
비켜.
no.
내가 살려볼게. 비켜봐.
What are you doing?
That's
What?
why. I'm sorry.
Please help.
센틸라.
You know about that? How is that possible? I mean, I've never mentioned it to anyone. Well, if you say so.
왜 뛰어내려?
You don't understand. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just
아,
want it all to
거
be
기다려
over.
보소.
It's too late for that.
율리아도 내가 살렸어.
Yulia and I made a pact.
율리아도 내가 살렸어. 진정해.
And she's already swallowed him.
내가 살렸어. 진정하세요.
If I backed out now,
아니야.
betraying her. I can't do that. Oh,
율리아도 구했습니다.
changes things a little.
그래, 일로 오세요.
But we're still in debt bondage to that monster.
아니 그것도 내가 갚아줄게. 이리 와.
Yes, you happen to have 2,000 denarii to pay off both of our debts.
2,000 데나리? 내가 있나?
Really? Wait. So, I guess you'd want me to work.
드디어
for you.
울피우스의 얼굴을 보았습니다.
You'd do that for us.
일단 살리고 보자고.
Complete strangers. It seems today we are both
살렸어. 와, 씨.
This did not
가발 쓰고 계신
turn
건가
out
근데?
how I thought. Thank you, friend. I never thought people like you existed. Thank you.
오 진짜 좋네. 2,000
I'll go and
데나리.
pay off our debts immediately.
돈 모아놓길
I just wish there
잘했다.
was some way I could repay you.
아, 안 갚아도 됩니다. 난 또 훔치면 돼.
Ah. And there it is.
사실상 나는 돈이 복사가 돼요. 예, 괜찮습니다.
Alright.
돈을 안 주셔도 돼요.
Sentilla and I were in love.
22일 전에 사라져 버렸다.
22 days ago. She went missing. All right. One night.
말레올로스의 저택을 청소하던 중 어떤 젊은 여인의 노래소리를 들었다. 그렇게 아름다운 노래는 처음이었고
It was the most beautiful thing I had ever heard. I wasn't allowed out.
나는 외출을 할 수 없는 처지라 다들 잠들고 나면 지붕으로 올라가 어디서 나는 소리인지 알아보곤 했다. 그게 센틸라야?
Just to see where that sound was coming from. And that's when I saw her.
치안 판사님의 집 정원에 있는 센틸라를 본 거다.
I just sat there on the roof, listening to her with my chin on my knees. And for the first time in a long time, I felt hopeful. And then she looked up and saw me and she smiled. I knew at that moment the fate.
그렇게 센틸라와 만났어.
From the moment she asked my name with this warmth and curiosity, I knew I'd have done anything for her.
사랑에 빠졌다는 거지.
Weeks on end, each night I'd climb out of the villa
저택을 올라.
into her father's garden.
어떻게 올라갔어? 이제 알려주는구나.
Talk about all the things we'd do once we got out.
드디어 덩굴을 탈 수 있겠구만.
Like having our own vineyard. And then one morning I woke up and everyone was out searching for her. They said she'd vanished in the night. All I could do was keep my head down and try to hide how beside myself I was. Sentilla was the one thing that made my life bearable. But with her gone, things unraveled quickly. You saw how bad it got. All I know is she loved me. And if she had known a way out, she would have told me. She'd never have taken her own life. And there's no way anybody could have killed her under the golden rule. I can't prove it, but I
진짜
just
탈출을
know she's
했다는
still
거야?
alive somehow. Even now, it's as if I can hear her voice in my head, crying out to me. That can only mean one thing. Somebody abducted her. I have no idea
센틸라를
how or who would
납치했다.
want to do something like that to such a sweet, lovely girl. But what else could have happened?
납치해서 거기 가둬 놓은 거네. 그러면
My guess?
말레올로스 맞아.
Malleolus had something to do with
그 사람이 납치해서 거기다
He is without doubt
숨겨놓은
the most
거네.
evil man I have ever known. I have no idea where he'd be keeping her, but there is one room in his villa, upstairs, which is always locked. I've never seen the inside of it, and I haven't been able to steal a key without breaking the golden rule. But I have a feeling that if you could get in there somehow,
아하.
it would shed light on a great many things. Oh, I see. That was
조금
the
있다가
only idea I
찾아가자고.
had.
일단 이거 물어보고요.
And you
순서대로 한번 해볼게요.
Yes. I suppose. What else? That's true. What else?
더 있어?
Yes. It's as I feared. Let me ask you this.
숲에서 낯선 사람. 맞아.
Stranger in the forest before you arrived here.
맞아요.
And did you happen to catch her?
카렌.
I see.
두 권? 두 권을 쓰고 있진 않았는데?
By any chance wearing a hood? Because I've
아.
There's something I think.
후드티.
I think you'd better follow me to the baths.
방금 암살자가 왔어.
What? How could you know that?
어떻게 할 수 있는 방법이 없어요.
Go and stop. Help. You have. Thank you. I have.
방금 들었어요? 말고
What?
저 신전으로 몰아 넣는 건가 보네.
Stop right there.
빈 성소로.
For your service to the
이렇게 하고 활을 룻하고 여기입니다. 여기 이쪽으로 가시면 됩니다. 선생님 이쪽입니다. 이쪽으로 모시겠습니다. 예. 그렇죠. 아유 잘하시네요. 예. 저기 쏙 들어가시면은 예. 사실 들어가기 전부터 짜증을 내야 되는 게 맞긴 한데 들어가시고요. 감사합니다. 아이템 획득. 좋아. 목욕탕. 이거 다 울릴 텐데 어차피. 말씀해 보세요. 왜 여기까지 나를 데리고 온 겁니까?
All right. you're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood.
얘기야.
Look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make.
목욕탕의 바닥을 보라고?
If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp.
두건?
But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it. Only your pronunciation is a little off.
카렌이
The
아니야?
name you heard wasn't Karen. It was Charon, as in Charon.
카론.
ferryman of the dead.
낭자들의 뱃사공?
Charon,
어?
who in exchange for the right coin
에?
helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
나한테도 동전밖에 없었다고.
I were never gonna wake up. I checked your
에?
bag for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead.
끝없이 출근하면서 미래도 없는 일을 평생.
Sorry if I sounded cagey. It's just that
소개할 때마다 반응이 좋지 않았대. 그럼 난
My name's Karen.
나 죽은 거야?
Punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. But on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry. I take it you know what this means. I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from fires towards
사람들이
the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all. Perhaps we should be grateful they don't remember their final moments. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the underworld, and why his
저승의 신
epithet has always
플루토의
been
작품.
Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have.
그럼 난 죽은 거였어?
So I'll try to answer them if I can. That was my first thought too. In the old stories, the underworld was where the souls of the deceased were taken. But it was also possible for the living to reach it without dying, if they were particularly fearless. So I'm afraid I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're not from here. If you were Roman or even Greek, you would know these stories. Each of them is slightly different, whether the storyteller was Plato, Homer, Virgil, or Ovid. But they always involved the souls of the dead meeting a grim ferryman named Charon on the
카론이라는
river.
뱃사공을 만나기는 이야기는 꼭
That he'd
들어간다.
help the new arrival cross,
오볼,
only if they could pay him with a
스틱스강.
coin, an obol. That's why it was once our custom to bury our loved ones with a coin in their mouths. Charon's
그러니까
obol, we called it.
카론의 오볼이라
An
부르는구나.
obol was a kind of Greek coin because we inherited this knowledge from the Greeks. To be fair, the ferryman isn't exactly as the
맞아.
poets described, and he.
사람마다 다른 모습으로 나타난다고 저도 그렇게 배웠거든요.
In different guises.
알고 있거든요.
You say you saw a young woman named Karen with a hood, and I once heard Kabash mention a stranger in a ram headdress named.
또 어떤 사람은
And
늙은
Rufus described meeting a stranger named
노인이기도 하고.
Tabal wearing an eagle headdress. But whatever form this stranger took,
항상 머리 덮개를 쓰고 있었다. 이름은 언제나
and their
K
name
발음.
always began with a K sound. I suspect the only way you'll solve
와.
this riddle is if your paths cross again.
미쳤다.
Good question. Let's see. In the stories, Charon would always require a coin as payment for passage across the river, but that never made any sense to me. What does an ancient immortal being need with coins? In our case, it seems Charon didn't take the coins we had. He or she merely checked we had one in our possession. So, maybe there's something special about the coins each of us had on us. That might explain why we wound up here, but so many others did not. No. I mean, I had my suspicions, especially after Livia's
아, 리비아 할머니는 그걸 알고
it out without your help. I promise you.
미쳐버린 거구나.
Now that we know where we are, we have to figure out what to do about it if we don't want to be cast into gold for eternity. We don't have much to go on, except the old stories. I remember 4 in particular about heroes in the underworld. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter.
헤라클레스, 오르페우스, 시시포스, 아이네아스.
A king of Ephyra, and Aeneas, a Trojan hero. Hercules was able to leave the underworld because he cowed its god with his strength. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the underworld, Proserpina, to help them escape. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of a spirit guide, who led him through a secret gate. So it seems you have two options: to confront the god of the underworld head-on, or find a way to escape with the help of Proserpina or some other guide.
와.
All Romans try to avoid saying it, and the reason is quite simple. He might hear us. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention to yourself. Do so at your own peril. Shh! Is everyone so blunt where you're from? Oh. That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to learn the truth about the Golden Rule, and maybe even put an end to it. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the underworld, but he was a demigod. Forgive my candor, but you are no Hercules. Are you telling me that you can? I won't pretend to understand exactly what that means, but if that's true, then perhaps you stand a chance. So, if you want to confront him, I'll help you as much as I can. Who knows? Perhaps your name will be uttered in the same sentence as Hercules. But first, you'd need an audience with you.
대신전.
The problem is, the door. I suspect the answer lies in the. It
영판
looks as
4개.
though somebody or a series of somebodies forcibly. If you could recover and repeat. It's the towering stone monument. You'll find them all over Rome. But of course they were looted from Egypt. However, this one is unusual.
로마, 그리스, 이집트. 그리고 알지 못하는 방식. 명판 4개.
Good question. It would have had the god's name engraved into it. And there's only one group of people I know. There's a cult in Rome that often they've been known to start fires, as well as deface religious If I were you, I'd go looking for. But I did hear a rumor they have a.
오케이.
I don't know. But perhaps you should begin your search with the local Greek fellow, Georgius. Perhaps Kabash, our
카바시라는
Egyptian
이집트인
resident, would be
주민이
able to
있다.
tell her. But I did hear
몇 주 전에
Aurelia
실종됐어.
is peddling rumors about him at the tavern. So perhaps you could talk to her, or just take a look in his room. I'm afraid you're on your own with that one, but perhaps it's a reasonable question. And even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying it would break the golden rule. As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were said to have persuaded Proserpina to help them escape, and Aeneas was guided to the exit. The problem is, those are the stories of a poet, a self-aggrandizing king, and a first, Proserpina. It said, the god of the underworld.
페르세포네.
If the stories are true, then I suppose so. The problem is, how do we... Leaving that aside for a moment. Truly? Then again, I suppose you were worried I'd think you were as mad. Can you tell me more? Fascinating. Perhaps, if she has indeed been abducted, tell me, has she told you... That is strange. Right. Because the current flows into the city. I vaguely recall wondering what was in there. You might be able to get a key from the magistrate. Let me know.
시험 판사한테 센티우스에게 상부수주 열쇠.
All right. I would suggest. As for Livia, it seems she's been shouldering the weight of this. In any case, may fortune.
리비아와 먼저 얘기를 나눠보겠습니다. 그럼 둘리를 안 구해줘도 되는 거야? 상부 수주 열쇠 둘리가 갖고 있잖아.
The 49 Belades fetch again with incessant labor, just as the ocean except, but it does. Say it. Speak.
그 이름을 말해.
Then it is true. I was right. I thought I thought I saw it, but when the rest of them could not, I kept thinking I must have gone insane. I had to tell myself it was true over and over again, until I wasn't sure if I was deceiving myself. I must apologize if my words seem cryptic. I'd found comfort in reciting the metamorphoses by our great poet Ovid.
이제서야 무슨 말을 하는지 알 수가 있구나.
This place. I cannot help but wonder if he himself came here. Would you like to hear it?
말씀해 주세요.
I will do my best to remember the relevant verse. There is a downward path, gloomy with fatal yew trees. It leads through dumb silence to the infernal regions. The sluggish Styx exhales vapor, and by that way, the shadows of the newly dead descend, entombed with full rites, and the ghosts of those, at last, given proper burial. The wide, thorny waste is cold and pallid, and the newly arrived shades are ignorant of the road that leads to the Stygian
검은
city,
디스의 잔인한
where
궁전에
black
튀어질 치르게 도시로
has
향하는
his
길을
cruel
걷는다.
palace. As the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place
이것도
accepts all
모든
the
영혼을
souls,
받아들인다.
and is never too small for any populace, nor notices the crowds that come. There the bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. Some crowd the forum, some the house of the ruler of the depths. Others follow their trades, imitating their previous lives. And still others incur punishment. I hope I have done it justice, and now we share a secret. It's as if you've lifted a great burden from my
아이고.
shoulders. Thank you, friend.
어떻게 깨닫게 되셨을까?
I should rest.
어떻게 깨달으신 거지 혼자? 활?
You there? I'm sorry, no idea how you managed. And before, but tell me, do you have any idea how? And here I was thinking I was the supposedly one or two of those arrows. Now, of course, that is a travesty. I can't help but think of a tale.
황금알을 낳는 거위 이러고 있네. 씨.
Transmute organic matter into gold. Use your imagination, and even if we were to split, look, I might have skimmed out.
구미가 당긴다고 일단 해보고.
So the first question is, how do we get our hands on one of those gold? Now, I have a plan, but first,
디아나 여신?
no problem. Diana is our goddess of the hunt.
사냥과 달, 저승을 권장하는 여신.
On who you ask. The one thing priests and poets agree on is that she carried with her a golden bow and a quiver of golden arrows. And it just so happens that there is a shrine of Diana in this very forum.
디아나의 성서에 그 유명한 여신의 조각상이
And
있다.
would you like to guess? Precisely. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in that temple staring at it, trying to figure out how to retrieve it without breaking. Oh, gods no! If you tried that, we'd all be dead within moments. No, here's what I propose. You give your bow to me, then you enter the shrine, extinguish the braziers, and under cover of darkness, swap out the fake for the original. It's not theft exactly, it's more of a
속임수.
trade. But make no mistake, this is a dangerous path, and there's no way of knowing where, in my experience, now. I'm more of an ideas man. When Prometheus stole fire from the gods and became a hero, only because he was silly enough to get caught. Because the gods would. So wonderful. Now this is a. And here we are.
가짜, 황금활.
Now I've gone and unlocked the shrine of Diana for you. It's just at the end of the street on the left. May the gods not watch.
오벨리스크의 사라진 명분. 저주받은 물건? 어디 있는지 내가 알고 있대.
Everything I know. The one thing I long. Let us find out. Excellent. I see you are indeed quite astute. Very few come to that realization before their time in the sun is over. Now, will you join me in a
아씨, 쉽지 않겠는데? 필요하다면.
For me, would you say you know the difference between and to what extent? You sound confident, but I must ask.
하하, 이곳에서 자신의 처지를 알고도 그 자신감이 계속 되던가.
Knowing that your moral errors will result in the deaths of yourself and everyone around you. Interesting. I'm reminded of something Socrates once said. To paraphrase, better to know that you know nothing than to know nothing and think that you know. It is because knowledgeable people have learned enough to know they know very little in the broader scheme of things. You see, out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong was acceptable because our mistakes rarely
바깥 세상이라고 얘기하네.
So we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind eye and rationalize and yet still find a way to think of ourselves as good people. But under the golden rule, morality matters. The slightest wrongdoing could result in a mass execution. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain about the difference between right and wrong. Wouldn't you agree? That is an excellent question, and it leads directly to my next line of inquiry. So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always
오차 없는 유일한 도덕 체계라.
could follow in every situation and always do the right thing? How can that be? Since they all have differences, it follows that in some cases they would offer different conclusions about what is right and wrong. If there is a correct moral code, then wouldn't it follow that only one can be the correct one? Ah, you know, I think you'd find an ally in Herodotus.
400년 전 살았던 우리 민족의 역사가?
Some 400 years ago. He told the story of a man named Darius, whose curiosity was piqued when he learned that a certain tribe had the practice of eating their dead. He asked some Greeks who burnt their dead, "What would it take for you to eat your dead?" Aghast, they replied, "Nothing." Then he asked the tribe who ate their dead,
이 사람도 알고 있네. 여기가 저승이라는 걸.
"Nothing," they replied, equally aghast. From this, Herodotus concluded that custom is king, that right and wrong are merely local ideas which do not survive the journey from one tribe to another. I take it you're in agreement? Then let me ask you this. If you visited a tribe where they ate each other, copulated with the dead and drank wine from cups made out of human skulls, would you still maintain that within such a tribe there is nothing wrong with such conduct?
이 아저씨 이상한 거 물어봐. 아, 저승이 프랜차이즈처럼 여러 군데가 있는지, 여기 한 군데만 있는지는 지금 나오진 않았고, 근데 이 저승에 온 사람들의 특정한 조건들이 있어요. 그 동전이 있는데 그 동전을 갖고 있는 사람들만 지금 이 저승에 배정을 받았다. 약간 이런 느낌입니다. 부족끼리의 권세.
That's a credit to you. It is the mark of a civilized person to change their position when presented with a superior argument. My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any hard and fast rules about right and wrong.
옳고 그름을 엄격히 단정짓는 규칙을 깨달은 자는 아무도 없다.
If there is one thing I have observed about rules, it is that virtuous people do not need them, and evil people will always find a way around them. And so we must accept our limitations, and the sad truth that no human society will ever achieve the utopia for which it strives. In mathematics, we would call it an asymptote, a line that can be approached but never reached. Because the only way to create a utopia is with the ever-present threat of force, such as the Golden Rule. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs when he first appears as a protector. And life under tyranny is no utopia at all. Well, reasonable minds may differ, and if utopia really is possible, then I would be glad to be wrong. In any case, thank you for you seek the plaque.
Egypt.
It is a cursed object, and I will tell you, but you may find him hostile. Very few know this, but before the Romans came to when the Romans came, in typical fact, thus the shrine of Persephone became the shrine of Proserpine.
그래서 페르세포네가
And when they found an
프로세프 저게
obelisk
됐구나.
bearing the name Hades, they tore
플루토.
it off and replaced it with Pluto instead.
하데스는
And the
플루톤.
city's dwindling Greek residents, witnessing this compulsive Roman conquest, decided to preserve what they could. They gathered
철학
their
어택
arms
해가지고 머리 아프네.
secreted them away through the temple of Demeter and hid them here, out of reach of the Romans. I'm getting to that. You see, it was among these old Greek relics, an even older plaque bearing it. We had no idea until years. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branch. We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another, an even older tunnel, which somebody had gone to great lengths to keep hidden. Suddenly, it made
글자가
sense
깨져서
to find this
보인다고요?
out-of-place Egyptian plaque among our people's possessions. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans beasts for stealing and corrupting our heritage. But it turns out this game has been going on much longer than any of us imagined. I think it is best you head through the catacombs and follow Kabash's trail. I assure you it is not, although it will be dangerous.
이 얘기 끝나고 자막을 키울 수 있는지 한번 찾아보겠습니다.
Take this key.
열쇠 드디어 얻었군.
You mean how did I end? I was a quarrelsome young man. At 19, I left. Back then, I used to enjoy. It became heated. He drew. I woke up on the back.
논쟁에서 이긴 대신 목숨을 잃었대.
Opposite Karen. Of course, I tried to persuade.
카론과 함께
I
깨어났어.
settled in, made friends, and learned what I could. Quickly realizing our. So I began looking for a place to hide. Fortunately, I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12 of us. They are one and the same. The Romans call him Pluto, but long before that, my generation was wiped out, turned to gold many years ago. My friend, I think it's safest to assume that if I was to return, Hades, I fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, I'm afraid I am the only one left. Some from malnutrition.
일부는 영양실조, 일부는 광기와 절망으로 죽었다.
It has been.
몇 주 전 찾아온 뜻밖의 손님 카바시 말고는 오랫동안 아무도 보지 못했다. 신선한 물고기를 계속 드셨군요. 데메테르 신전에 바친 곡물도 가져가고. 오케이. 아씨, 뭐 나오게 생겼네. 철학자보다 먼저 죽은 11명의 친구들. 뭐야. 깜짝이야, 씨. 뭐야, 이 자식아. 갑자기 소리를 내가지고 깜짝 놀랐네. 활이 있기 때문에 별로 그렇게 뭐 크게 놀랄 일도 아니죠. 활이 있으니까. 뭐냐? 어두우면 안 보이는데. 에임. 오! 이리 와, 이씨. 자식아. 아니, 너무 어두워. 하나 더 있어요? 드럽게 많네. 또 있네. 지금 제 에임이 좋아서 머리라서 다. 너도 혹시 아니네. 아이, 깜짝이야, 이 자식들이. 20초 보드게임. 여기 이미 죽어있죠, 한 마리. 아이고! 발차기, 이 자식아. 발로 차놓고 머리 때리는 거구나. 이해했다. 일로와, 이씨. 발로 차고 머리에 쏘고. 이겁니다. 이렇게 하는 겁니다. 뭐가 진짜야. 아씨, 어두워. 이거 아니야? 뭐가 일어날 거야? 빨리 일어나려면 빨리빨리 누구세요? 사람 카나시?
Stop. Do
Stop.
not come any closer.
카바시?
Who are you? I am Kabash. And let me guess. Another Greek or Roman come to loot and
아, 여긴 또 이집트 쪽 그쪽이구나.
Trousers, boots. Curious here. No, I suppose you do not.
별로 안 좋아하나
Then
봐.
what do you want? To what end? That is welcome news. You really are not Greek or Roman, are you?
아, 이거
I was planning to return it myself, but for now, I
아, 아닌가? 아이템 얻은 거는 저장이 되니까.
and restore the honor of
오시리스. 아이템 얻은 건 저장이 되니까. 드럽게 안 돌아가네요. 또 아이템 획득하고. 나이스, 좋습니다. 좀 쉽게 풀리는데.
As for the other plaque, indeed, I have it
여기
right
있다고?
here. I stumbled across a collection of dusty curiosities while searching for a place to hide from the hungry children of Amit. And
굶주린 아이들이라고 하는구나. 저거를.
you may not. In
Why?
fact, I
What?
because it speaks. I will tell you.
To what?
Indeed, and I see you know. See what has become of it. As Egypt declined and the Greeks had their turn to flourish, their souls came when they found the obelisk bearing the name Osiris, the true god of the underworld. They desecrated,
하데스.
removed even
아하.
the ferryman of the dead. known to
뱃사공
my
케르티도
people
카론으로
long before
바뀌었고.
as Kerti. They renamed to
야.
Keron, as if that desecration was not enough. They built over this place.
자기네들의 저승이
as the
잊혀졌다.
foundation. My only solace is that the Greeks then suffered the same fate when the
하데스는
Romans
또
rose to
플루토로
power,
바뀌고.
renaming Hades to Pluto,
하.
and the cycle began anew. It is inscribed with a script I do not recognize, but it is ancient, almost as if it is older than the plaque bearing
제 문명이
Osiris.
부정당하는 거지.
But if that is so, it would imply the gods of Egypt are mere imitations
그치.
too. And that's my people. I sense a deception. Perhaps it is the
대신 파괴해드리겠습니다. 제가.
think me a fool. Work of
그런가?
must be destroyed, thrown into the
아,
black abyss.
석판을 제발 부수지 마세요.
Too late.
아,
It is done.
어?
You would plunge into the if it will help. I am from Rakotis, which since the realm when the fires broke out on my
티베르강.
trip, I told him his brother would have to save himself. He did not. I do not know. All I know is everyone's good way. You would plunge into the.
오케이. 내려가야겠군요. 자, 치면으로 가봅시다. 의문의 명판, 수메르어 명판부터 먹고 갑시다. 어이 깜짝이야 씨. 일로 가라고 알려주는 거 같죠 이분이? 이렇게 가다가 보면 함정을 작동시키는 압력판 밟으면 뻔해. 뻔하죠. 아우 너무 흔들려. 이제 뭐가 나올 때가 된 것 같기도 하고. 슬쩍 없고 여기 또 돌이 기다리고 있고 뻔하지 밟으면 돌이 굴러서 저쪽에 뭐 길이 생기나? 아 깜짝이야. 결계가 있습니다. 못 지나가요. 그럼 이제 길이 이쪽밖에 없는데 저 위에 가바시. 하하. 내가 돌아가는 걸 막겠다고. 배틀인가?
not be a fool. I have the higher ground.
왜 유리하다 생각하시지? 그래. 맞아. 공격하면 황금률이 깨져.
Good. I welcome it.
아 근데 어차피 상관이 아닌데 나 돌아가야 되는데?
Osiris bellows with rage, and his voice shakes the very foundations of the earth.
죽는 건 죽는 거거든요. 별개의 문제거든요 이게.
Will lay waste to this fragile place once and for all, and you along.
아니 어차피 시간은 돌아간다고요. 아저씨 진정하시. 어머 왜 그러실까? 뭐야 이걸 다 피하면서 가야 돼? 뭐야 난이도 뭐야? 평화적으로 말로 해결을 했어야 되나?
When I told you that
오케이.
you
이렇게 피를 뿌릴 필요는 없어요. 제발요 선생님 살려주세요. 저 좀 꺼내주세요. 아 고집 불통이시네 이거.
How did you think this would end if not with bloodshed?
제 말도 좀 진짜 내가 하고 싶은 말이다.
Very well, I will listen. But if I sense deception or if you
오케이 평화적으로 해결을 한번 해봅시다. 이게 피지컬로 나갈 수가 있나 모르겠네. 시작하자마자 일단 2대 맞고 시작한 거 같거든요 방금. 아니야 이거는 약간 자존심을 건드는 문제야. 그 자기 자신의 그 역사가 부정당하는 느낌이 들 것 같고 그냥 사실대로 거짓말을 합시다.
That makes no sense. How would it honor him to place false names on his sacred Tekenu?
그거는 보시면 알게 됩니다. 예?
Now that I think about it, my people would.
그치 오시리스의 다른 이름이 뭐였더라? 무슨 태양신 막 이렇게 부르지 않나? 또 공격적이야? 아, 아저씨. 아니 아저씨. 씨. 제발. 제발 진정. 진정 좀.
And to swear ourselves innocent of sin before the 42 assessors of Ma'at. And yet, I arrive here to find the Book of the Dead contained only a seed of truth. And now I ask myself, did our priests steal and embellish the stories of an older people and feed us lies all our lives simply to trick us into obedience?
자, 여기서도 좋은 얘기로 달콤한 말로 달콤하게 한번 꼬셔보자고요.
I am not sure I follow. Speak plainly.
사후 세계에 대한 믿음이 정확하진 않을 수 있습니다. 그래도 여러분이 선한 삶을 살도록 만드는 데 의의가 있는 게 아닐까요?
Perhaps there is some.
살려주세요. 그냥 저 나가게만 해주세요. 예?
You are.
말로 꼬셨어. 됐나봐. 다행이다. 아저씨 왜 이렇게 화가 나 있어? 아 감사합니다. 감사합니다. 그래도 이건 안 밟을게요. 뭐가 또 굴러 나올지 모르니까. 카바시 아저씨랑 그래도 조금 얘기는 나눠 볼까요?
The ladder here. I think if someone is to break the golden rule.
마트 여신의 진리대로 살아간다. 남에게 대접받고자 하는 자는 남을 대접해라.
I finally understand why it has long been said among my people that
신들의 피부.
the skin of the gods. Of course, as the Romans say, may
감사합니다. 살려주셔서 감사합니다. 수고하세요. 뒤에서 활 쏘시는 거 아니죠? 네, 수고하세요. 가요 저. 불을 껐고 이 황금 활을 가짜 활을
Is that you, partner? Do you have the bow? Wonderful. Just go ahead.
활을 문틈으로 밀어줘?
I'll unlock it for you.
아씨.
And yet you did. And now here we are. With me out here and you in there.
이거 이렇게 통수를 치네.
No, technically I never said that. I said
야, 이런 이 함정 카드였네 이거.
wealth is still infinite. It's hardly my fault if you can't tell the difference between a hypothetical and a promise, now is it? Oh, I do love it.
그러니까 이 모든 것들이 기준에 따라서 범죄가 될 수도 있고 범죄가 되지 않을 수도 있다니까요.
Not a very effective threat, is it? See, your first problem is you're in there, and I'm out here. Your second problem is the golden rule. What are you gonna do? Kill us all? It's an empty threat. The bow, now. And don't even think about giving me the fake one. I'll recognize my own handiwork. I would reconsider my position quickly if I were you.
나갈 방법이 있겠지. 또 나갈 방법이 있을 겁니다. 말벌집과 같이 갇혀 있다고? 아이씨, 나 벌이 제일 싫은데. 씨.
It takes 27 hornet stings to kill a man.
아이.
But I always wondered how anyone could have known that. Let's find out if they were right, shall we?
어떡하지? 나가는 길이 있지 않을까? 너무 싫어 벌. 나가는 길이 있지 않을까 싶은데. 둥지를 쏴? 금으로 바꿨어. 와우. 와이 벌. 나가. 또 다른 새로운 공간으로 왔습니다. 여긴 또 어디야? 신전을 탈출하라. 스펀지 막대? 화장실 아래인가봐. 오이? 물풀을. 나 알았어. 이제 이걸로 이걸 쏘면은 황금이 되는구나. 덩굴 뿌리 같은 것도 이제 이걸로. 나에비아의 일기장 1권. 내 사랑 갈라테이아에게 언젠가 둘이 만나는 날이 오면 이 글을 읽고 내가 무슨 짓을 했는지, 왜 그래야만 했는지 알아줬으면 좋겠어. 다들 나를 미쳤다거나 괴물이라 하겠지만 그들이 뭘 하든 상관없어. 여기서 내가 하는 모든 일은 널 위한 것이니까. 더 있구나. 황금 조각상이 늘어서 목도를 걸어가니 뒤에서 누가 속삭이는 것 같았대. 목욕탕 복도에서도 또 그 소리가 들렸고, 따라가니 스톨라를 입은 로마 여인의 조각상이 나타났고, 조각상이 날 정면으로 쳐다보고 있었어. 조각상이 움직인다는 걸 알고 있네. 저 많은 조각상 안에 살아있는 사람이 갇혀있는 거야. 이런 식으로 이제 덩굴들을 탈 수 있게 됐네요. 나는 내가 남자라서 못하는 줄 알았어. 무거워서. 그게 아니었던 거야. 신전 안으로 들어온 것 같은데? 그럼 나에비아가 이 안에 있지 않을까? 나에비아? 다 아니네.
From that moment on, I know the full horror of this place. Immobilized within these statues are living, human beings.
빈 곳을 때려야 되는구나.
That day, my love.
나에비아는 아니겠지?
Broke.
잘 못 맞췄나? 에잇? 됐다. 헉, 고맙대. 나에비아가 여기 어딘가 있을. 역시 물풀을 금으로 만들어. 또 있을 것 같은데? 아, 이 아래로. 고맙대. 황금 조각상이 되지도 못하고 이도저도 아닌 고통만 받으면서 계속 살아있었나봐요. 고맙죠? 줄 서 계세요. 거기 계세요. 두 방 때려야 되네. 다리 그리고 다리. 줄 서 계세요. 줄을 서시오. 오케이. 가만히 계세요. 가만히. 더 있으신가? 편하게 쉬세요. 편하게 누워서. 꽃병을? 들어가면 오케이. 한 방에 약간 편하게 쉬세요. 누워서. 궁전 출입문 열쇠. 나이스. 나에비아의 일기장. 황금 조각상에 숨겨진 끔찍한 진실을 알아낸 후 악몽이라도 꾸는 것처럼 도시를 떠돌아다녔대. 생매장당한 채 보내는 삶이 얼마나 끔찍할까. 평생 상상조차 못할 정도로 끔찍한 고통을 받으니 타로타로스에 갇힌 것이나 다름없는 것이야. 사람들한테 조금이나마 자비를 베풀고 싶어서 말을 붙이기 시작했대. 살아온 배경을 생각해보기도 하고 이름도 붙여주고. 그 황금 동상들한테 지금 하는 얘기죠. 바로 그때 속삭임이 들렸대. 갈라테이아, 용서해줘. 진짜 이름은 따로 있겠지. 이토록 아름다운 여인은 처음이란 생각밖에 들지 않아. 너와 만나고 새로운 목표가 생겼어. 그 황금 감옥에서 꺼내 속삭임이 아닌 목소리로 진짜 이름을 듣는 것. 아, 그래서 길고 어려운 작업에 필요한 도구를 모으고 궁전의 출입문을 막고 작업에 착수했대요. 와... 비단을 금으로 만들어서 가뒀어. 못 와. 지금 하나하나 알려주고 있는 것 같죠? 어떻게 활용할 수 있는지 알려주고 있는 것 같습니다. 편하게 누워서 쉬시라고 다 눕혀드리고. 아, 머리에 쏘면 한 방이야? 아이 깜짝이야 씨. 뭐야? 돌아가신 거야? 나에비아의 일기장 3권. 황금 감옥에 갇힌 영혼을 풀어주려고 하는데 계획대로 잘 안 돼. 첫 번째 친구는 메두사를 보고 돌이 든 아테네의 이름을 따 이오다마라는 이름을 붙여준 그리스 여자였지. 황금이 무슨 합금이라도 되는 듯 엄청 단단했는데 그래도 꿋꿋이 반인치 파고들었더니 사람의 살이 나왔어? 지금 황금 동상이 된 사람들, 이 사람들 다 나에비아가 황금을 벗겨줬던 거야. 그러니까 피부가 황금이랑 같이 떨어져 나가는 거지. 황금을 최대한 살살 떼어내려고 했는데 대부분을 떼어낼 수 있었는데 이오다마는 구속이 풀리자마자 내 목을 붙잡더니 온 힘을 다해서 날 할퀴어댔대. 그러니까 나에비아 딴에는 지금 구해준다고 황금을 다 떼내는 거지만 황금 동상 입장에서는 생살을 지금 다 떼내고 있으니까 미쳐버리는 거죠. 차라리 죽여줘. 이렇게 되는 거지. 그렇다고 금박을 벗길 수는 없어. 너무 위험하거든. 네 몸과 마음, 인간성까지 온전히 살려낼 방법을 찾아내지 않는 이상 절대 벗겨내지 않을 거야. 아이고 저기 그러니까 그냥 이런 동상인데 이것들을 하나하나 금 조각들을 벗겨냈더니 안에 사람이 들어있던 거예요. 나에비아 딴에는 구해준다고 지금 벗겨주는데 벗겨진 동상들은 너무 아픈 거지. 다시 황금으로 만들어주니까 고맙다고 하는 거지. 차라리. 어이? 고통스러워한다는 거 알면서도 계속 진행을 했네. 반쯤 벗겨진 조각상. 이 사람이 나한테 계속 속삭였구나. 뒤를 보라고? 아 깜짝이야 씨. 무기 들고 계시는데?
And you must be the wretched snake who broke into my palace and disturbed my experiment.
실험이 아니지.
Worst of all,
이런 반인류적인
This never would have happened if you just
그게 무슨 말이야? 당신이 하셨으면서 왜 나한테 가위맨 씨.
And you think I care about that? I don't care what happens to me.
아니 이게 무슨 일이야 씨.
Get what you deserve.
어?
Liar. I locked and barred the gate. I left a message warning you all to leave me alone.
그래도 말로 한번 잘 꼬셔볼게요.
Experiments in peace.
최대한 좋게.
Now look at her. You made me turn the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
고통에
into
찬
this.
모습?
Look at her. She's in agony. All I wanted was to spend my last moments with her. To see her.
그래서 입을 저렇게 열어놓은 거야? 얘기하라고? 와 진짜.
But as soon as I began my work, she stopped whispering to me. And now I
그래서 나를 도와줬구나. 살려달라고.
instead. What's so special about you?
자, 이렇게 얘기할게요.
What do you mean the same voice? Yes. I remember when they used to whisper to me. They did sound similar. I just thought it was because all voices sound the same when they whisper. But now that I think about it, they
지식을
were
공유하는 것
benevolent
같다.
and seem to share a common knowledge. But if these bodies are mere conduits for that one voice, then this body is nobody. And
한
everything I've
목소리를
done
전달하는
here
매개체라면
was
육체는
Wait,
아무것도 아니야.
I see what you're doing. You're trying to steal her away from me. Were you planning to
아니 왜 또 그렇게 가? 아니라니까요. 아니, 관심 없어요. 그냥 당신이 지금 기행을 펼치고 있는 것뿐이지.
Liar. You tried to steal her away from me. And now look what you made me do.
아니 왜 내 탓을 하냐니까?
One good reason why I shouldn't peel you too. What? What are you talking about? Wait. So you're saying
아 찾아온 거 아니에요.
you weren't coming
저도
for us?
어쩌다 보니까 여기 나의 배아가 있나 봐. 이렇게 된 거지.
So I did all this. I ruined her. For nothing. What have I done? Oh God, I feel sick. I can't bear the thought of her being like this. And in so much pain. It's the air. Coming into contact with her flesh. It's agonizing for them. But the only way to fix it.
황금률을 깨트리는 거 그거 제가 해드릴게요. 진정하세요. 예?
Run its course. At least that way she'd be golden again, and we'd be together. All it would take is one little.
류마티즘 치료법?
It's too late. There's nothing you can
왜?
do. I have to do this. I'm sorry.
이걸로 갑시다. 갈라테이아한테 지금 꽂혀 있어 이 사람은.
What?
일단 꼬시는 거야.
Really? I'm not sure I
아
believe you.
통했나 봐. 다행이다.
But if you can undo this mess, I'll tell you what you need to know. But if you're lying to me, I'll break the golden rule and kill you.
알겠습니다. 알겠습니다. 진짜예요. 진짜.
Understood.
진짜. 어때?
You did it. You took away her
어때?
pain.
됐지?
I don't know what to say. Thank you. Thank you. I swear I will never harm her
그래.
again.
그러지 마세요.
I swear it.
피칠갑을 그렇게 하시고 말이야.
These poor souls. What can be done for them? I've tried everything I can.
그 수엔 내가 없었지.
The only one capable of releasing them properly is whichever god doomed them in the first place. In any case, I must honor our bargain. The treatment for rheumatism is
버드나무 껍질?
I believe there's a pot of it
아폴로의
already
성소에
in
있는
the shrine of
단지에
Apollo.
있다. 아하.
Now, please leave. The door here leads out onto the palace balcony. You should be able to make your way down from there.
오케이.
Go, and never return.
아 일로 나왔어. 아야야야야. 그럼 내가 못 갔던 곳들을 이제 갈 수 있게 되었죠? 이 사람한테 일단
A golden bow, just like a pot. Feeling alright?
뭐라고? 류마티즘 치료법.
Made it into the pot. We look back. I should have known. It was under my nose.
루피우스의 화도 가라앉을 거래. 다행이다, 다행이다.
I have some right here. Could you?
오케이. 아이템 획득. 그 전에 명판부터 가져가 줍시다. 길이 어디였지? 여기다. 오케이. 좋아요. 이거지. 로마어 명판. 역시. 이제 루피우스한테 또 가서 약 전해주고 그 베르길 그만 괴롭히라고 얘기할 수 있겠죠. 이제 가서 다음 삶으로. 이번 삶에 좀 많은 것을 할 수 있을 것 같죠? 오케이. 매번 보는 이 장소. 여기서 갈레리우스한테
Yulia. Oh no.
그리고
But how did you?
다 맡길 수 있어.
Stop, Fabio. Go.
오케이.
I'll go.
Let's go 갈레리우스. Let's go.
You're not thinking about going into the
들어갈 거야.
system,
비켜
are
이씨.
you?
비켜 이씨.
Whoa.
편하게 쉬십시오. 이제 일단 못 가던 데부터 가봅시다. 여기죠? 여기랑 으차차차차 들어왔어. 누구세요? 왜? 진짜 납치당한 거였어?
Who are you?
센티넬이었나? 누구더라?
Do you know you're here? You have
괴물놈? 센틸라.
I'm Sentilla. I found a way out.
뿔의 문을 통하면 나갈 수 있다는 걸 발견했는데 잠겨있길래 그놈한테 얘기했어.
Instead of helping me escape,
와...
he wants to keep us all here forever, or until we're turned to gold. He's a monster. You have to let me go so we can kill him.
우릴 영원히 여기에 붙잡아두려 해. 누가?
Sentius. My
센티우스 짓이라고?
Furies help
오 마이
me.
갓.
Castrate and crucify him. I don't know. He said the gods are on his side because they don't want us to escape either. Behind me, there's an aqueduct tunnel bringing water from outside the city, so it should
오
lead
마이
us
갓.
outside. The only problem is it's barred by a heavy locked gate, and he has the only key.
그 열쇠 내가 받아왔어.
I'm going to take that key.
목에 걸린
from
열쇠를
around
빼앗을
his
거다.
neck, even if it means
그럼
cutting
또
his throat to get it. I'm done caring about the golden rule. I just want out. Help me, and we can escape together. There won't be enough time. Just you and me. What do you say?
센틸라랑 같이 탈출하는 엔딩이 있나 보네. 일단은 저장이 됐겠지?
Oh, thank you. Now follow. Wait.
뭐?
Did you hear that? He's here. He must be coming in through the door behind me. You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can use.
센티우스 이 자식.
What did you do with Sentilla? Where is she? So that is how it's going to be.
진짜 인간 쓰레기가 따로 없군요.
Doesn't change anything for me. It's a shame, really. If you'd just done what you were supposed to, you'd have been looping through time forever until you gave up and killed yourself.
와, 엘도 왔다가 포기하고 자살했어.
Surely you didn't think you were the only
타임루프를 겪는 게 센티우스도 동일하게 겪고 있나 보네요.
You see, my connection to the portal somehow preserves my memories from
와,
one to the next. Whether that was Proserpina's intention or a happy accident, I'll never know. But I'm surprised you hadn't noticed. Here I was thinking you're a little bit sharper than Al was. Or perhaps you're just more willing to break the rules. He was a moralistic fellow, never once compromised on his principles. And because of that fatal flaw, He relived this day many thousands of times before we finally had this.
이날을 수천 번 반복했대.
I watched him come through the portal each time, always a little older,
나이는 먹어?
disheveled, and a little more haunted. And when he finally saw the futility of it all, as you're about to, it broke him.
마음이 부서졌대.
He drank a jug of wine, tied a noose around his neck, and took his own life, just before he was shot with a golden arrow. The next time I awoke, you showed up, but you've caught up to where he was so quickly.
엘의 상위 호환 버전인
But if
거지.
you give me more time to enjoy the trappings of my success.
와,
How
미쳤다.
many extra days did you give me? Just the 7? Not a lot compared with Al, but I
잠깐만,
see
기억을 한다고?
nonetheless. In any case, there's no escape for you except
그럼 이때부터는 선택지가
the path he wrote about.
고정되는 건가?
What was it? Ah, yes. Better to end it all now than find out what awaits you beyond that portal. So, you discovered my secret. So what?
어?
What are you going to do about it?
저기 뒤에
Of course. There's no way you could have succeeded. Every soul who has ever found themselves here has broken
저기
the
뒤에
golden rule.
저승사자.
It is inevitable. Man will always sin sooner or
곧
later.
너의 목이 날아갈 것 같은데.
But where others might see
근데
tragedy,
무기가 있나
I
저기?
saw opportunity. As I told you the first time we met, I found a way.
죽음을 속이는 방법을
By
알아냈다.
reliving the same day over and over again forever, and I will continue living long after your dust. Why? Isn't it obvious? Because I have grown attached to all this. My title, my beautiful villa, the sun on my face, the music of
여기에 그냥 안주하고 살고 있는 거구나.
and as long as this day keeps repeating itself, I get to enjoy it all, over and over again, for eternity. Don't you see? I have found a way to prolong my life indefinitely, to cheat death. I have become, in effect, as immortal as the
와,
gods. Can you
미쳤다.
honestly say you would not wish the same for yourself? Do you really think you can take on a Decurion with that flimsy little bow?
이길 수는 있겠지만 이번엔 센틸라한테 맡기도록 하지. 가라 센틸라!
Sentilla? Where is she?
네 뒤.
I'm right here, father.
와, 불을 질렀어.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
이제 문을 열 수 있대. 일단은 센틸라와 탈출하는 엔딩을 한번 보도록 할게요. 어? 왜? 나 왜? 나? 내가 빛나고 있어? 타임 패러독스를 만들었어? 그럼 나는 과거에 존재하지 않게 되는 거지. 어? 엘?
Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here.
아! 엘?
Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Funny you should ask. I was just reading an old tablet I found here. Well,
마지막에 같은 이름이 있었다고?
my Latin is kind of rusty.
그럼 나의 행적이 과거에 남긴 남았다는 거야?
It described an event about 2000.
2000년 전의 일.
Someone with your name appeared in the city out of the shrine of Proserpina. Freed an imprisoned woman named Sentilla, who then murdered her captor, breaking some kind of ancient law. It said the attack caused golden statues to come alive,
도시의 모두를
hunting
사냥하여
down everyone in the
황금으로
city
만들어
and
버렸다.
turning them into gold. Apparently, the only person to
센틸라만
survive was
살아남았고 이방인은 번쩍하는 빛과 함께 사라졌다. 나는 현실 세계로 돌아온 거고.
What? You're saying you were here?
센틸라는 결국 탈출을 한 거죠. 그러니까 센틸라만 살리는 엔딩이었던 것 같아.
I'm sorry. Come again. Let me see that. God, why does this writing look so familiar?
자신이 썼던
Spent a
주석.
lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles. This is disturbing. But I don't understand how I could have written it. I'm not following.
센틸라를 도와 시간 차원문을 열고 당신을 끌어들인 자를 죽여 이 모든 일을 처음부터 막았습니다.
So you're saying, because a man from 2,000 years ago is dead, he never created a time portal, so
그치.
I never went through it, and that's why I don't remember any of this. I guess you saved my life then, as well as helping that poor woman to escape. That's a lot to take in. Maybe we can escape through the same aqueduct Sentilla used.
센틸라와 같은 송수로로 나갈 수 있을 거래. 자, 일단 그럼 어디 갔어? 헤이 헤이 엘 가자고. 강으로 돌아가라. 원점으로. 뭐해?
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this tunnel.
와.
You go on ahead. I'll be there soon.
카론의 존재를 이제 알게 됐잖아. 카론이 뭔지. 와, 미쳤다.
You're back. But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al? Ah, what a relief. Thank you
얘는
so
망자를
much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why
이제
don't
잘
you tell me
이끌어야
what you discovered?
되는데 엘이라는 영혼을 잃어버렸고.
Ah.
와.
I thought you might.
What?
Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Caroline if you like. I'm sorry I was not completely honest with you.
카렌이 아니고 카론이었어.
I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned from 5,000 years of experience that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to
마음의
see
준비를
the truth
다
in their own time.
뭐든지 준비가 안 된 상태에서 맞닥뜨리면은 거부하고 부정하고 이러니까.
That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to
야,
cross the
미쳤다.
threshold from the
스토리.
land of the living to the land of the dead. Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly. Do you
그래도 어떻게
really want to
죽었는진
know?
진짜 궁금하지 않을까?
As you wish. You
살해당했다고?
were murdered. You were exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics, including 2 silver coins of ancient origin. Unfortunately, as you emerged into daylight,
두 도적이 나를 덮쳤어?
a nearby hiker saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid,
그게 엘이야?
trying to help you recover your bounty. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were armed.
그래서 엘이랑 나랑
and
같이
you
죽은
were not.
거구나.
There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name
와.
was Al Worth. You were each in possession of a sacred coin called Karen's
와.
Son.
그 유물 유적지 안에서 찾은 동전 때문에 이런 일이 벌어진 거였구나.
Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferryman for passage across the river. Well, those stories contained a seed of truth, but not any coin would do. A long time ago, my master
천여 개의
created
은어를 만들고
1,000
나로
silver
하여금
coins
세상에 흩뿌리게
and
만들었다.
had me distribute them across the world. My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin,
왜지?
I was to locate them and ferry them here.
왜죠? 그러니까 내가 궁금한 거네. 딱 나오네요.
That is a question you would have to ask him, if that were still possible. In light of the path you have chosen, I am just his servant, doing his bidding. Only now, I find myself bereft of purpose.
아,
You see,
이 모든 거를 밝혀내고 싶다면은 다시 돌아가야 돼.
we're the last of the 1,000 in existence. There is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course. I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an
엘은
event
알아내지
2,000
못하고
years
자살했다고
ago.
했었으니까.
Supposedly, the city was destroyed when a woman murdered a tyrant with the help of, well, my new friend here. I know how crazy that sounds.
Maybe not that crazy. That woman. I don't suppose her name was Sentilla?
How could you... What?
She left a tablet of her own. I stumbled across it while I was waiting here.
석판을
I
남겼어?
think she meant for you to read it. Here, take a look.
감사의 편지를 남겼나
I don't
보네요.
know what became of you, or
와,
if you'll
뭐야
ever read
이거.
this, but I want you to know that
Sounds
잘못
like you meant a
눌렀다.
lot to her. I'd love to hear your story, but first, you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while
와,
I
가자.
ferry you back to
가자는 거지
civilization?
이제.
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
편지를 못 읽었어. 아, 이게 4가지의 엔딩 중에 2번째 엔딩이래요. 저승의 신과 직접 단판을 지었다면 얼마나 많은 사람을 살릴 수 있었을까요? 그러니까 지금은 한 명밖에 못 살린 거지. 저기 명판에 뭐라 적혀 있었는지 좀 보게, 다시 보기로 좀 보고 갑시다. 쥐느님께 대체 어떻게 되었는지 이 글이 닿을지나 모르겠지만 도시에 도착해 해주신 일을 절대 잊지 않을 거예요. 울피우스, 센티아, 루크레티아, 호라티우스, 갈레리우스, 불쌍한 둘리, 그리고 많은 사람들, 너무도 많은 좋은 친구들이 이런 행운을 누리지 못하고 쓰러져서 가슴이 아픕니다. 하지만 그들의 죽음은 제 탓이지 당신의 탓이 아니라는 걸 알아주세요. 저는 제 행동이 불러온 결과를 안고 살아가겠어요. 제가 할 수 있는 건 앞으로 나아가며 당신이 제게 베풀어주신 사랑을 다른 이들에게 전해주는 것 뿐이에요. 당신께서 구해주신 목숨을 반드시 가치 있게 쓰겠다고 약속드릴게요. 센틸라 올림. 이라고 돼 있었군요. 오케이. 그러면 다른 엔딩 보러 갑시다. 이걸로 제가 가서 황금률이 깨진 후 다 같이 탈출할 수 있도록 사람들을 모을게요. 요거.
there's no time. Wait,
미안하지만 당신을 풀어주면 다른 사람이 모두 죽을 거예요.
what? No, you can't. It's
요걸로.
no use. You'll never persuade me. You're making a mistake.
이러면 똑같이 센티오스랑 얘기하는 건가? 아니네. 일단 센텔라 조금만 기다려봐요. 일단 안 한 것들이 지금 굉장히 많아서. 저기 있구나. 명판.
Do you like it? But like, yeah, Galerius will let me out. You're going to... Galerius already tried that. What about the rule? Like, if you help make Hannibal said...
한니발은 수조에 있다고 했어.
Bye bye.
그리스어 명판 저기 있어. 류머티즘. 일단 호감을 사고.
Thank God. Finally, some relief.
좋았어.
Is what I've been praying for. Maybe God hasn't abandoned me after all. Thank you. I've been
신앙의 위기까지. 그럼 이제 베르기를 괴롭히지 말라고 얘기할 수 있겠죠?
These cursed statues always watching in the crisis of faith. It was too much. Started messing with my head. This is
나한테
exactly
너무
what I
고맙
needed to set it straight.
너무 고맙지.
I owe you one.
그러면
No idea what you're talking about? Look, I haven't been at my best lately. I know that. It's the rheumatism.
좀
It starts
수그러들었네.
constant pain in all your joints. Then the pain starts to mess with your head.
좋아
Makes
좋아.
you angry, mean. I know that's not an excuse for how I acted. But
순서가 이렇게 됐어야 되는구나.
with the willow bark, I'm already starting to feel like myself again. And I know I said I owe you one. So I'll leave him alone from now on.
나이스. 됐어.
It's not as if I was ever going to hurt him anyway. I was just lashing out. I'm going to go and clean up the graffiti. Just
류머티즘 때문에 그렇게 아파서 예민하셨군요. 알겠습니다.
What demonos? You went snooping in his place? That was risky. We're lucky you didn't cross any lines.
날 먼저 걱정해주네.
Spoken to him about it? Really? How did you manage that?
병 때문에 신경이 날카로워지고 심적인 문제도 심해지고 있었다.
Poor fellow. I've heard that can really mess with a person's head. Well done for figuring that out. Really? That's promising. I'll keep an eye out for him.
연결하는 증거를 찾아야 돼. 갈레리우스를 치안 판사로 만들 방법.
I've bounced the idea around, but from what I hear, maybe that's not believe a word. And how could you know that? I mean, you overheard him say that. Oh, why does that not surprise me? Well, in that case, we need to find a way. If you can do that, and Sentius is the only can.
그러니까 이 사람을 황금으로 만들면 그것 또한 엔딩이 될 거거든요. 일단은 이렇게 되면
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
여사제를 타임 패러독스가 만들어졌어. 그럼 나는 튕겨져 나오는 거지. 그러면 저기에 있는 마을 사람들은 아무것도 구하지 못한 채로 이렇게 된 겁니다. 이게 아마 첫 번째 엔딩이지 않을까 싶네요.
Give me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al. Well, here I. Funny, I was just reading an old tablet I found here.
똑같이 석판에 또 내 이름이 있구나. 치안 판사를 살해해.
And the ground trembled apparently as the citizens screamed. What? Let me. God, why does this? I've spent a life. This is.
이거는 똑같네요.
I'm. So you're saying, because a man from 2,000 years ago is dead,
그치.
time portals, I guess, to let me die all over again. You saw that. I can't see how I could. Seems like we're both gonna die. How can you say you murdered a man in cold blood, and now there's a city full of dead people?
제일 배드 엔딩인가 봐.
I guess all those old pro peccata unions.
라틴어가 맞았구나.
The many shall suffer.
하나의 죄로 인해 여럿이 고통받으리라. 네 번째 엔딩 중에 첫 번째 엔딩, 제 생각대로 첫 번째 엔딩이 맞았습니다. 자, 그럼 엔딩 두 가지가 남았는데 두 가지 더 끝장내고 모든 사람들을 구해줘야겠네. 그러려면 석판을 일단 완성을 해야겠고, 혹시 뭔가를 말해주려나?
I'm not supposed to be a talk. An intriguing.
아내를 꼬셨어야 되는구나.
What makes you say that? You know, I may have the very thing you're looking for.
흔적을 갖고 있구나. 그때 이름을 잘못 적은 적이 있었다. 이거다.
Now, Addressing one's wife by the wrong name is not unheard of among philandering Romans.
자기 이름을 틀렸대.
But I confront. I'll let it go. But oh, aren't you charming? I'm quite sure.
달콤한 말로 꼬셔만 줍시다 일단.
It seems our interests are aligned. But first, I want you to.
포도주. 받으십시오. 한 병 더 드릴 수도 있고. 자, 편지를 받았습니다. 퀸크티우스가 사랑하는 클라우디아에게 이거구만.
Are you insane? Why?
아, 이 선택지를 했어야 되는구나. 정체가 탄로 났죠.
It finally caught up with me.
아, 이런 방법도 있었구나.
Oh, so much work and money. Oh, well, if I do it, you'll let me live?
사퇴를 하십시오. 사퇴하고 오케이. 하고 이제 갈레리우스를 오케이. 오케이.
There, you got what you wanted. Now, please leave my villa and never speak to me.
오케이. 문 밖에서 얘기하네. 내가 문 열어줄게. 자. 갈레리우스를 추천합니다. 이렇게 하는 거지.
Malleolus has decided to withdraw from the election.
급한 일이 생겼어.
Citizens, I have an announcement. Malleolus
여기서 그렇게 속삭여도 다 들려?
from today's election.
어디 뭐 스피커라도 달려 있나?
Challengers are nominated by nightfall. Sentius will be
제가 추천하겠습니다.
by default. That is all.
추천드릴 사람이 있습니다. 제가 바로 추천. 여보세요? 저기요? 예. 자, 갈레리우스를 추천합니다. 투표를 지금 시작하면 안 되나요?
I'm planning to hold it. Yes. I have overheard. Very citizens. We have a quorate body of voters.
3대 3인데 그러면?
Elect the city's magistrate. I'll start with you, Horatius.
센티우스를 뽑겠지.
Georgius.
오! 오, 좋다. 이러면은 센티우스?
Virgil.
갈레리우스. 그렇지. 갈레리우스. 나이스. 그리고 갈레리우스. 됐다.
Citizens, you have made your decision.
좋습니다.
New magistrate is Gallus Galerius Helga.
시한판서로 만들었고.
It has been decided. Magistrate Galerius, would you like to make a brief address?
I just want to say, this isn't something I ever wanted. Now that you put your trust in me, I'm going to do everything I can not to let you down.
아, 좋습니다.
Time to put together a list of the changes I want to make around here.
잘하네.
But I promise you,
연설도 잘하네.
there will be changes. My first order.
둘리를 석방. 오케이. 갈레리우스 치안판사. 나이스.
I'm sorry it took so long, my friend. And it wouldn't have happened at all if it wasn't for a newcomer. So be sure to offer your thanks.
나 여기 있어.
I will.
빨리 열어줘, 빨리. 나왔어. 헤이. 고맙지.
Oh, thank you. You can have my and maybe you could. My friend Hannibal used to.
한니발이 나 돌봐줬어. 근데 죽었어.
He gave me a key to.
수조에 들어갈 열쇠 주면서 보물 안전하게 지키라고 했어. 위로 올라가면 엄청 귀한 거 있다고.
Please help me find it. Oh, thank you.
수조 열쇠가 상부 수조 열쇠. 상부 수조는 대신전 아래에 있다. 오케이.
Hope you find it. Oh, look, hope maybe it's treasure.
뭐가 빛난다는 거야? 아, 저거? 비켜. 그리스어 명판. 그리스어로 만인의 주인 하데스라고 새겨져 있는 명판. 나이스. 센티우스가 둘리에게 보내는 편지. 아, 이거 전에 읽었던 것 같은데?
The many shall suffer
나이씨.
for the sins of the one.
둘리가 도둑질해가지고 바로 황금률이 깨져버리는구만. 일단 그 말은 무슨 말이냐면 그냥 그리스어 명판 얻기 위해서 지금 이런 상황이 벌어졌다고 생각하면 되는 거죠. 아, 둘리 가둬놨어야 되는구만. 나오자마자 그냥 도둑질 해버리네, 저 자식 저거. 자, 이제 명판을 얻었고요. 네 번째 엔딩 중에 이번에는 신과 대적하는 엔딩을 한번 볼 수 있지 않을까 싶어요. 일단 이거 명판 넣고 오벨리스크에 돌려놓았습니다. 아마 여기 문이 열리지 않을까 싶은데? 그치? 플루토. 어? 건축 양식에 따라 그 불러지는 이름들이 다 다르니까 여기는 하데스겠죠? 그 다음이 이제 이집트에서 뭐라고 부른다 했지? 네르갈? 네르갈 아니면 오시리스인데? 아니야? 오시리스. 네. 그리고 나서 네르갈. 오케이. 오잉? 뭐야? 어? What? 왜? 뭐야? What the?
And here you are.
낯선 사람.
Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been
죽음의 신이구나. 저승의 신.
Nergal to the Cimmerians, Osiris to the
네르갈,
Egyptians,
오시리스, 하데스,
Hades to the
플루토.
and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal.
필면자야.
Ever since your arrival. You are unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so gracefully. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my
와, 이제 궁금했던 것들을 다 물어볼 수 있나 봐요.
Ask what you will.
여기는 뭐 하는 곳이죠?
It has come to be known
저승이라고? 저승이 이렇게 현대화돼 있다고?
and it exists because of a wager I made long ago. That is a long story, one that began over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium
고향
to search
엘리시움.
for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your two short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Proserpina saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called
농업,
Sumer,
수공업, 법률을
for our
알려주었다.
guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might
신들도 후회를 하는구나.
what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina
단 한 도시라도 1년 동안 죄를 짓지 않고 산다면
My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you.
그래서 황금률이라는 걸 만들어냈구나.
And to sit in silent judgment.
신들도 신들의 사정이 있었던 거지.
Enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting.
그날이 이뤄지기만을 기다리면서.
There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names, but perhaps you knew them by their Roman names. Our leader Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Proserpina. As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to bars.
목욕탕으로 향하는 수직 통로를 만들게 하여 전생의 죄를 씻고 탈출을 막으려 했다.
I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before and made all the same mistakes. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods.
그러니까 이게 다 역사가 없으면 똑같은 실수를 반복하면서 계속 몰락하는 거죠.
To ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random.
부주하기로 그래서 1000개의 은화를 수메르 전역에 뿌리도록 했다.
A rare element at the time.
야.
Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place.
야.
As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets.
야, 그러면 결국 다 신들의 놀이에 놀아나는 거네.
Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's Obol.
카론의 오볼, 베스타공의 동전.
Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were the original tokens. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted
그 두 개가
only two remain.
나랑 엘 거고.
And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind will have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Proserpina's along with it.
야, 대박이네.
It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of Sumer and a troublemaker.
그러니까 하데스가 또 페르세포나를 살리기 위해 만든 일종의 게임에 놀아나고 있는 것들 이었던 거죠. 우리의 영혼들이.
길가메시 서사시. These words were twisted and distorted over generations. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place in their priests' pursuit of profit. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning. And in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped.
5명이 저승을 탈출했어.
Two kings named Sisyphus and Theseus.
다 그리스 로마 신화에 나오는
And a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished
시시포스.
tales of this place, how to get here and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place.
모든 게 진실은 아니다.
Only a seed of truth. That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes.
너희가 내 법에 준 이름이라면 맞다.
That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife. Prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. Of all the women, 2 were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful. Both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings
화려하게.
fashioned from gold. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold. And when her prayer went unanswered,
신들 얘기가 아니구나.
matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer.
잘못된 욕망에서 시작된 거였구나.
That woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin.
아하.
The wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean.
그래서 황금 동상들이 계속 있었구나. 시즌제를 운영한 거지, 시즌제를. 근데 시즌 1이 망하면 그냥 폐기시켜버리고 다 있던 사람들 다 황금으로 만든 다음에 시즌 2를 시작해서 새 사람들로 눈과 귀만 계속 연체. 야, 씨.
I give your kind a second chance at life, as well as ample warning about my law. And when you disobey, and you always disobey, you force my hand, bringing terrible suffering upon yourselves. And so you ask if I am the one destroying your lives. And I say, no, you destroy yourselves. I am merely the means by which you do it. When my kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. Consolation prize of sorts.
죽어서도 신들에게 약간 농간을 당하는.
Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them. Equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply
Furious.
I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you. since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of
아니 게임이 심오하네. 아주 심오했네.
Curious, is it not? Enough. You clearly know nothing. Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example? Abduction? You mean the magistrate imprisoning his daughter in the cistern, I take it. He did so because she sought to escape, a sin I take particularly seriously. Better that he stops her from escaping, albeit brutishly, than I have to wipe out this entire city to punish her.
이 죄의 기준을
Supposing you're right, and my law's been broken, and I should turn you all to God.
아씨 말을 공격적으로 하시네 이거.
Is that what you want? Then your desire to be right outweighs your desire to survive. You will make a fine statue. Do you really think you can wound me, a god, with that primitive weapon?
내 밀실을 깨트리거라. 왕관을 손에 넣어.
Pathetic. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
왕관을 손에 넣었는데요. 그리고 나서 어떡하라고. 시간을 되돌린 다음 플루토에게 프로세르피나의 왕관을 보여주래. 무빙. 프로세르피나의 왕관, 이게 생겼습니다. 그 말은 뭐냐면 이제는 신과 싸울 엔딩이 준비가 되었다는 뜻이겠죠. 오케이. 자 그러면 요거 여기 있었네 카론이. 알고 있습니다. 예. 바로 그냥
Recognize that anywhere. You find.
약간 사탄도 이건 좀 이런 느낌이죠.
I do not see that I have a choice in this.
약간 도르마무처럼 계속 해봐. 난 계속 네 사랑 죽일 거야. 약간 요런 느낌이고. 그녀가 너희 모두를 포기할 때가 되었다. 승천할 자격을 잃게 된대. 하하. 이승으로 돌려보낸대. 시간대가 다르니까. 좀 더 이해하기 쉽게 말씀을 해달라고요, 하데스 아저씨. 그치. 아, 이것도 또 타임 패러독스야? 됐습니다. 이렇게 하면 황금률이 회시됐어요. 그리고 타임 패러독스가 생기면서 과거의 그 사람들은 이제 신들의 어항 속에 갇히지 않은 상태로 된 거고, 나는 어떻게 된 거야? Hi.
Oh. Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al. Well, here I am. Know who you are. Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot in this city for about
2000년 이후
2000 years.
처음으로 이 도시에
Fortunately
도착한
for us,
사람들.
the last person in here was a Roman man named
마지막으로
Galerius.
남은 사람은 갈레리우스. 이 석판에 잘 서명해놨다. 황금률이라 불리는 저주의 공포에 시달리며 살았다고 한다. 그들은 한 사람만 죄를 지어도 미지의 신이 모두를 황금으로 만들 거라 믿었다. 갈레리우스가 프로세르피나의 성소에서 수확을 기원하며 기도를 마쳤을 즈음 한 예언자가 나타나 도시의 불행을 해소할 방법을 알려주었다. 예를 들어 죽어가는 여자의 다 내 얘기잖아.
And demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to him. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook.
모두가 충분히 고통받았다다. 그치.
Many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
사실 그 예언자는 저였어요.
What? Oh.
거기에 내 이름이 이제 안 적혀 있나?
For a moment there I thought you were serious. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into.
오케이. 그렇게 해서 엘과 같이 또 탈출을 하는 엔딩이네요. 이러면 또 카론이랑 얘기를 해야 되고, 그럼 난 이미 죽은 거야? 되돌아갈 순 없는 거야? 이승으로? 살려줄 순 없는 건가?
You're back. Why don't you? I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions.
카론.
You can just call me Charon. I do not enjoy that you die. My rule. Most asking.
다 들었죠?
A wise decision. All you need to know is that
엘이랑 같이 죽은 거예요.
perhaps you have heard the tale. Well, a long time. My or. That is a question you would have to
그러니까
ask him.
이 동전이 신들의 시험대에 오른 사람들을 랜덤하게 뽑기 위해서 세상에 뿌렸던 동전이었던 거지. 그래서 초대장 같은 느낌이죠.
You see, there is nobody else. I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing.
야,
That you keep this.
이게 아마
Look.
엔딩 중에 네 번째 엔딩이지 않을까 싶네요.
You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
마지막, 그러니까 진 엔딩.
Sounds you two look.
Sounds good.
And you?
자, 몇 번째 엔딩이에요? 1년 후. 이게 맞네. 이게 진 엔딩이네. 무슨 박물관처럼 생겼고요. 일단 나가진 못하고 앞으로 나아가 봅시다. L인가? L. 신수가 환해지셨네. 베르길 닮으셨네.
And what the critics said about it. I guess they weren't ready for your theories about the underworld.
똑같은 사람 아니야? 베르길이랑?
After everything you've been through,
이상하네.
I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people
거기에
mentioned
내
in
이야기가
Galerius'
나왔나 보다.
and I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you. I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
뭐야. 사람들이 다 어? 갈레리우스.
You're finally here.
어?
Remember me? It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Charon appeared.
세상으로 돌려보내주겠다고 하더군.
Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over.
돈도
Only,
주고
for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours.
우리의 시대로
I know
보내줬다고?
we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life. I know. I can't believe my luck either.
약혼해서 같이 살고
But
있어?
we're engaged and living together.
행복하겠네.
Get married next spring. If you're gonna be around, we'd love to see you there. Oh, I used Karen's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too. With enough room to
둘리도
do
같이
it, of
데리고
course.
살면서
It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man.
진정한 자유를 이제서야 얻었구나.
For the world. Of course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to
와,
thank you. So you better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
Oh, hello.
큐티야.
You're here.
여사제.
It's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me all about you. So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you
와, 이거 좀 감정이 좀 벅차오르네요.
I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable. Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room for a large
둘리도 또
family.
부양하면서
Dooley too, of course.
쉽지 않은
Feels
선택이었을
like the world
텐데.
has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us, for all of us.
아,
Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely.
아 리비아 할머니도 계시는구나.
Somewhere, if you'd like to ask her yourself. See you at the wedding, I hope.
결혼식장에서 만나재. Hey, 둘리.
Hello, I'm Dooley. Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't like it. Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that.
말하는 상자 구해줬어.
I like my box now.
핸드폰, 스마트폰 말하는 건가?
Box that tells stories.
하긴 그거에 있으면
Favorite thing.
다른데 눈을 안 팔 테니까.
They're fun.
뭐지?
I
라디오인가?
live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look after. Bye bye.
라라리움 갖다 놨어. 율리야. 내가 안 살린 사람이 있나?
You're the oracle. Oh, of course. Sorry. And of course. Oh, I barely recognize myself. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out,
로마 제국보다 30배쯤 더 크다. 세계 여행을 하면서 수기를 쓰고 싶대요. 와.
Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew exist, and you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft? Oh, sorry, you already know all that, of course. I'm just so excited. I really am. Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler.
정신병원에 수감됐어.
And wound up being committed to it. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... What's that German word? Schadenfreude? I couldn't agree more.
또 나쁜 사람들을
She was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince.
죗값을 치렀군요.
And how she was going to be living the high life.
부자 왕자를
Even in
낚아챘다고?
your time, life still isn't fair.
하하.
He proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called...
어디?
What was it? Nigeria?
나이지리아?
Some people have all the luck.
나이지리아 왕자?
Well, you are the oracle.
씨.
So I suppose I'll take your word for it.
다
I feel better.
인과응보.
Thank you.
또 있네요. 또
too.
이야기에.
If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the story. I hope so.
루크레티아.
Long time no see. Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you. I'm studying to get into
의대에 들어가려고 공부
As much
중이래.
as I resented the responsibility, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world. You too.
Hey,
호라티우스. 센티아.
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming. Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia.
신시아로 이름
I
바꿨어?
didn't want to be
잘했어.
associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off,
프로세르피나가
Proserpina, she
나타났다.
knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little
맞아.
sister locked up, but he's been dealt with.
어떻게 됐는데?
He's still there.
여전히
all
거기에
alone.
있어?
The
저승의
last
마지막
golden
황금
statue
조각상이
in the
됐다.
underworld. Trapped in a metal
진짜
shell,
인과응보다.
eternal torment. Just what he deserves if you are. Anything I want. I'm a woman of means.
돈도 많은데 세상이 갑자기 확
I can
넓어졌다.
go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me.
아직도 야만스러운 무지렁이들을 천지라고 하네.
Barbarian. You too. See you around.
Hi there, I'm Horatius. I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance. I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm got
군인이
world's changed
됐구나.
a lot, but some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military still? I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways. The ones who pioneered our paths.
우리의 길을 개척한 이들은 우리의 주인이 아니라 안내자들이다.
Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. In the words of Epictetus, as those who rode behind, remind yourself your precious one isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now, not forever.
네가 소중히 여기는 이는 네 소유가 아니며 그저 잠시 주어진 기쁨임을 끝없이 되뇌어라.
Thanks. He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified.
UFC 선수가 됐다고?
So he started some kind of
지하 유혈 토너먼트를 개최했다고?
like we had in Rome. Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts.
아이고.
But his luck finally ran out.
아이고 죽었구만.
And his life along with it.
칼로 흥한 자 칼로 망한다.
You know what?
안타깝네요.
And you. Farewell.
아직도 만날 사람들이 너무 많아. 게오르기우스 자식.
Greetings. You must be the legendary. I am told.
아직도 옷 만드시나?
I am reacquainting myself with Greece.
그리스를 다시
It has
탐구하고
changed so
있다고?
much over the last 2,000 years. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece, I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of. Ah, the poor sweet thing. Perished in a shrine collapse before the rest of us were saved. It is the one regret I have in all this. My friend, there is no need for you to apologize. You have done more.
파비아를 못 구했구나 내가. 파비아를 못 구했어.
You too, my friend.
은둔 철학자. 그 지하에 있던 할아버지.
I take it you're the oracle everybody's talking. We have. I'm sorry. I never thought I'd
이름이
live that
드디어
way.
얘기해주네.
Left
필립이래요.
the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century. What a and it seems I have your catabasis to thank.
카타바시스?
I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University, helping fill the odd gap in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened minds again. My sincere.
파비아를 못 살렸어.
Some soiree, innit?
데시우스 죽였어야 되는데.
Oh, hello at last. Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. Whatever you did in that temple made me a such a acerbic I took the money I made from selling my trinkets.
주식 시장에 투자해.
In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice. You being the oracle, I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, Oh, don't be like that. Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing.
걔 망할 것들만 얘기를 해주는 거죠.
Of course, don't let me keep you. Thanks.
Good evening.
옥타비아.
You're here. It's so... I'm thankful that you're here, but thank you. I'm living in Rome again. In a
다시 로마에 살고 있어. 티베르 강
I'm not
옆에.
far from my old place.
위기 상담사 훈련도 받고
Watching you
있고.
persuade Ulpius not to take his own life
와.
inspired me. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people. Thank you. And you. Oh, and... Wonderful.
리비아.
Greetings.
할머니. 진짜 건강해 보이시네.
Kind words and for liberating us all. I'm recovering. Octavia, she still talks. Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on. I'm already up to the 19th century and am quite enjoying the work. Men have called me mad. But the question is not yet
광기가
settled
가장
whether
고결한
madness
지성인지
is or is
아닌지는
not
아직
the
미완으로
loftiest
남았다.
intelligence. And you?
카바시.
It is an honor. You know my... Oh, of course. I too would like to offer my thanks. For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but instead I have decided to follow
배낭여행
the custom of
중이시구나.
the roots. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the... Indeed. Thank you.
센틸라.
Hello there.
살았구나.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now.
가브리엘라.
I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me.
Ah.
And that monster got what was coming to him. I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us.
포도원도
You can try
하시고.
some of our very own wine. Thanks. You too.
야, 씨. 울피우스.
Good to see you under better circumstances than last time. I wanted to thank you for saving my life and getting us all out of there. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake. I'll be forever in your debt. I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We
같이
finally
살고
bought
있어.
the little vineyard we always dreamed of. It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope?
그래. 일단
And missed out on all
살아야지.
this. So we're living each day to the fullest.
좋은 날도 안 좋은 날도 살아 있어야 느끼지.
Sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now, and watching the sunset over the rolling hillside. And I couldn't be happier. Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you. You too.
행복하십시오. 마지막은 베르길이겠군요. 21세기니까 좀 더
It's so nice to find
이봐 엘이랑 똑같이 생겼는데.
I've heard so much about you. I wanted to thank you personally for I'm studying to be an architect again and living in a beautiful flat. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are.
아니 꼰대가
You
됐네.
too. If you're ever in the Netherlands, I'd be happy to show you around. It's the least
감사합니다. 파비아를 못 살렸어. 파비아를 잊었어 내가.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
누구? 어?
Sorry if I frightened you.
어?
Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time.
그 낯선 목소리의 주인.
Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina,
프로세르피나.
former goddess of the cycle of
생명의
life and
순환과 부활의
and
여신.
now a regular.
이었지만 지금은
I
단순한
wanted to meet you in
필멸자다.
person. And thank you for freeing all these people and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention. Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected. I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my
생명의
gifts as the
순환과
goddess of the
부활의
cycle of life
여신일
and
때
renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath. I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way. Oh, she inherited dominion over the
저승의
underworld.
통치권을 물려받았다고?
Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into it.
언젠간 우리 모두
I
만날 거야.
imagine we all will, one day. And you, although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city?
네네.
Good.
다들 나를 기억하고
Well
있대.
done, my friend.
다
Of all the heroes who ever journeyed
거기
to
있던
the
사람
return,
동상들이야?
you came close to achieving what you did.
오 마이 갓.
Achilles, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
오 마이 갓. 네 가지 엔딩 중에 네 번째 엔딩을 봤습니다. 진엔딩이죠. 개발자의 메시지. 아직 세 번째 엔딩을 보지 못했습니다. 그 세 번째 엔딩은 뭐냐면 아마도 신과 대적하는 게 아니고 이제 탈출구를 알고 있잖아요. 센티넬이었나? 그 여자가 사람들을 모아가지고 한 번에 그 구멍으로 탈출하는 엔딩이 남아있을 거라고 생각이 듭니다. 아, 여기구나. 열쇠가 센틸라 둘리의 열쇠로.
You. Wait, what? How did you know? Wait, he's here. You distract him. Stay right here and keep him talking while I look for something I can do.
아, 여기서 이제 얘기를 잘 해야 세 번째 엔딩으로 이어지겠죠? 여기까지는 다 들었던 말들이죠.
I'm right here, father.
사람들 다 모아왔으니까 센틸라 말고 다른 사람들도 아마 다 탈출을 하는 엔딩이지 않을까?
The many shall suffer.
이러면서 이제 타임 패러독스로 나는 오케이 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 나는 다시 현실 세계로 튕겨 나가고
That light, it's so bright.
이게 바로 세 번째 엔딩일 것 같아요. 근데 그 전에 더 많은 사람들을 만나서 꺼내 왔었어야 되나?
Hi there. Well,
여기까지는 또 갔겠죠? 마지막에 같은 이름이 있었다. 센틸라라는 여인을 구하고 유괴자를 살해하여 고대의 법을 깨뜨렸다. 소수의 시민들과 가까스로 탈출하고 낯선 사람은 번쩍하는 빛과 함께 사라져버렸다. 소수의 시민들?
Let me see that. God, why I've spent this. So you're saying? I guess maybe we.
여기선 또 이제 정해져 있는 엔딩대로 가면은 세 번째 엔딩으로 가겠죠. 근데 이제 카론이랑 얘기할 때 안 해봤던 선택지들을 해보겠습니다. 마지막 엔딩이니까요.
But, why don't... Really? Ow! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long, I thought I'd never see you again.
Kind of lost track of time in there.
아, 바로 이렇게 가는구나.
2,000 years ago. Supposedly, the city was destroyed when a woman murdered a tyrant with the help of my new friend here. I know how crazy.
Maybe not that crazy.
Sentilla?
That won't...
How could you...
She left a tablet of her own. I stumbled across it. I think she meant for you to read it. Here, take a look.
I don't know what became of you, or if you'll ever.
지느님께 대체 어떻게 되었는지 이 글이 닿을지나 모르겠지만 옥타비아와 루크레티아, 호라티우스, 에퀴티아 그리고 저는 도시에 도착해 해주신 일을 절대 잊지 않을 거예요. 이런 행운을 누리지 못한 좋은 친구들이 너무도 많아서 가슴이 아픕니다. 울피우스와 갈레리우스도 용감하게 둘리를 구출을 하려 했지만 돌아오지 못했죠. 하지만 일어나지 않은 일에 집착해봤자 소용없어요. 저희가 할 수 있는 것은 당신이 주신 선물을 가지고 저희에게 베풀어 주신 사랑을 다른 이들에게 전해주는 것 뿐이에요. 당신께서 구해주신 목숨을 반드시 가치 있게 쓰겠다고 약속드릴게요. 센틸라 등 올림.
Sounds like you meant a lot to her. I'd love to hear your story, but first, you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat?
모든 사람들을 살릴 수 있는 엔딩은 진 엔딩밖에 없나 봐요.
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
가시죠. 자, 역시나 네 가지의 엔딩 중에 세 번째 엔딩을 보았습니다. 자, 이렇게 돼서 더 포가튼 시티의 네 가지 엔딩을 전부 다 보았습니다. 스토리텔링이 굉장히 재밌었고요. 재밌게 했습니다. 재밌게 봐주신 분들이 계시다면 구독과 좋아요 부탁드리겠습니다. 게임은 여기까지.